Heyo, welcome back to the show.
Oh, Lord. Bro, robbing like crazy. Is that
Joking no, it grumpy.
yeah, we're right? He's like, oh.
What the fuck? The accusations that I tried to find that.
And he was telling me, to give him sexual favors and stuff like that. And taking ibuprofen, he was doing that. He was drinking tomato beer, and then he was talking about the whole thing about having relations with my dead relatives.
What? Every time that gets me now. Every time. What? What? Hey, Daniel Berry Sports, always the first one on the ball. What is up, you guys? Oh, I invited Jack Talcott today, so he may or may not show up. We'll see. He was in the back earlier. I got to post a thingy here, just in case people want to show up to the thingy. There we go. I think that's how I do that. Senior citizen Saul says Father Talcott condemns he condemns us all. No, why? I was trying to find some videos about the double slit experiment because I want to learn more about it. I'm not sure if I fully understand it, obviously, but I would love to learn more about that. Also, we can look at some stuff. What's we got today? Did the narrative go live? Maybe. Let's see what she was up to. Live response for Draven ASMR. Is that his name, Draven? That's a stupid name. Calvin Green Catfish. There was some pretty spicy stuff she was sharing. Hold on, let me show my screen here. It's the person with the name you love to touch, but you mustn't touch. Benjamin Haycock's song Restlessness. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and go back a bit. Shit, how far does this go back? What are we at? All right, so we're gonna read some of these because I think it's interesting. Why not document all this? Who the hell are these people? I don't know. All right. It says cleaning up my community tab. Okay, there will be no lives, officers, or dispersal. Some kind of crazy picture here with a Raiders fan. The settlement wrote something. Waiting on a callback to see if we can have a few members of Mrs. Douglas's family on as guests for Halloween. Maybe aunt and uncle. Remember, you asked for this. So the settlement threatened to go after the narrative's family 8 days ago. So, I mean, I guess that's why the narrative's been going after his family. The post that started the real life in between us. I'll be waiting for this live tonight. I expect fireworks and... Oh, is that right? Fire? No, you just put fire. You don't put fire. And tons of crazy Kaylee stories. I'm not a goldfish. I don't forget. I do. I forget. I'm like a goldfish. There's a pig lady. A nice pig lady there. You're spiraling. Leave others out of it. Give me your full attention. I'm practically begging for this at this point. She's like, I'm gonna protect this pajama simp loser something whatever it says there. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I love it. Fell asleep early. Bunch of people took a nap. Too nervous to sleep with the next thing. Fingers crossed. This bad news at the doctor's. Oh shit. Okay, so took a nap. Too nervous. Took a long sleep with the doctor thing today. Might stream some Fallout 76 on Twitch and a few. There are zombies on there too. Hello. Fingers crossed, bad news at the doctors. That's pretty dark, man. Can you give us an update, please? Damn, she really wants you to be dead. I think that's crazy. What crazy ending, the longest, messiest trial I've ever seen. Just shows what a new judge can do. The jury in court must been tired as fuck listening to the witness they had. Hello, especially Woody. So did he go to prison for 45 years? What else do we got? I noticed to keep going intense live chats, blah 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 blah. Kofefe. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I was kind of looking for. Honestly, I seen this earlier. This is about Brett, apparently. Just imagine being Brett in real life. Cheating on your wife with a co-host you met on YouTube, bragging about the intros and pictures you spent hours making for your lame live streams, begging for money to treat the wife and to go live is said daily. Behind in rent, facing eviction. He's also said he's trying to get a down payment on a new place to rent. The biggest screw up. I thought it was gonna be a screw up in the family by far. No full-time job, turning people's dead relatives into thumbnails. Sex comments about children recently. Regular racist comments. He was sad about his friend, the mass shooter. Still crying about the TB years later, and Rebel. And Rebel. And fucking Rebel. I'm just kidding. It makes up swatting for a grift and sympathy as a RO for threatening to R-word a woman recently. Supports swatters when it's against people he doesn't like. Supports CPS calls against people he doesn't like. This is what this fool chooses to do in his 50s. He's closer to death than most on here. His body is in bad condition. He's on benefits guaranteed. Damn. Probably some fake mental health issues, or his failing body and the impending death. And he's practically unemployable with little to no social skills. He spends his entire life consumed by YouTube. He's no different than a person on a person sat on the street on the floor asking for money. He's only got a place to live because of his wife. Almost through the holy shit. How do you type all this? Fucking crazy. How long did this take you? Jeez. All right. He also shouldn't even have access to his grandson with his disturbing behavior on here. I think that's a little weird to say. He shouldn't have access to his grandson because of his comments on the internet. I mean, did he say he was going to do something to his grandson? I mean, I don't think so. So, and the drug use. He needs a mental evaluation and a drug test pronto. I would say the same about you, Kaylee. I would say the same about Wikiweenie. I would say the same about Squishy. You all need some counseling. Y'all all need Jesus, motherfucker. Why can't you stupid motherfuckers just shut the fuck up and get along? How about that? How about that shit? If Kamala wins, you guys can hate Kamala. But if Trump wins, can you guys just shut the fuck up and get along? We'll just put all of it on that. What the fuck, Brett? Brett's been cheating on his wife, apparently. So the narrative says he also should. Oh yeah, I read that. Then he needs therapy for the sexual abuse he went through, and maybe then they can start working out why he chose to make sexual comments about minors. This is really like this lady didn't say shit about the things I did. So I mean that's interesting. Like there are benefits to being ham banana. Like people just let shit go. I mean, it's awesome. I love it. Anyway, your YouTube alone and the things you say and do warrant agencies involved. Apparently, you're truly a disgusting, disturbed individual, and I'm not afraid of you in the slightest. Brett needs the big roost reality check on here, and his priorities in life are all messed up 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll give a thumbs up. ASMR blocked me. Kofefe with Draven. Oh. Okay, what's this? This is just to show we had plenty of confirmation between us both that the settlement Brett is the same Brett that this lady knows, and she is related to Paula. I can't share any more of the conversation at this time. Brett, you're doing damage control saying those people don't know you. I sent them a picture of you and your mom, and they said yes. I know, Brett. We are related, and they know Paula too. They are friends with your own mother on Facebook as well. Ooh. This Kaylee lady's crazy. I love it. I fucking love it. You know, these crazy Kaylee ladies probably have like the best sex because they're crazy. This one's called MTF. Month to fuck. I don't know. I don't know what it stands for. I was just trying to figure it out, but we'll take a little puff and we'll read some more. Why Kaylee wanna go and make me have to do some reading? Can't you just tell I'm already so nasally? Them people's be crazy. All right. Let's see. Stephanie asked me tons of questions to make sure it was the same Brett and Paula she is related to, as she couldn't believe you would cheat. You're going to great lengths to put distance between you and your family. Tells me you're still scrambling to keep Paula from finding out. Quit unplugging the house phone too. It's getting pathetic. And let the lady go on Facebook. You're just delaying it from happening. And you're lucky I haven't sent your daughter it. Holy shit. What did she say? You're going through to great lengths to put distance between you and your family. Quit unplugging the house phone. Does that mean Kaylee is basically admitting to calling his house? This is getting creepy. I love it. I'm waiting for Paula patiently. She said, "Oh wait, I didn't read that. You're just delaying it from happening, and you're lucky I haven't sent your daughter it." I'm waiting for Paula patiently, and I don't mind waiting. That's good. That's good. Send the daughter the picture of AC with the butt plug. You know, that'll be funny. And send her Leonard De Leon with a butt plug. It'd be like, this ain't your dad, but he also cheated on his wife. And then we'll go to the next one. Quit unplugging the house phone too. And I already read that. You really think I'd waste my time talking to someone without confirming we were talking about you? When there's how many Bretts in the USA? Hello, hello, hello. You must think this is my first rodeo, bitch. I'm not releasing any more till I complete what I said I was going to do. And that's what Paula watching the clips Amanda sent and posted. What? What clips did Amanda send and post? Show them clips. Show them clips. Okay, so let's see. Yes, LOL. Sorry, I feel like I'm freaking you out. LOL. Where does Brett live and where is your friend? In Maine. No, it's there. What is this proof of? No, it's there. I don't understand what this proof of. Where does Brett live? Like, this doesn't prove anything. This is a weird picture show. Narrative, please explain how any of this isn't a waste of time. I really fail to understand why anyone was giving a shit. I'm curious. Brett threatened to contact my family, spoke to my niece, my family. I'm being very nice towards him. In comparison, this is the tone he set for mine and his interactions. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, um, she's waving her sword around because he was waving his sword around. So, they're just gonna stab each other. And so fuck it, just let them stab each other. Fuck them both. I'll watch them stab each other, and then we'll go take their armor and their swords and whatever little monies they had left. What else? What's this one here? 1 hour ago, Kaylee says, I can't be put in handcuffs, Brett. You don't get it, do you? You're engaging with me, as are your friends. If you're calling his house, that's not him engaging with you. I'm pretty sure he didn't even give you his phone number. So that's double him not engaging with you. That's just you finding his phone number and contacting him repeatedly until he had to unplug his phone. And then you go online and say, Brett, quit being a bitch, plug your phone back in. I'm calling. That might be a little bit of like harassing and bullying, but you're acting like I'm on here harassing and cyberbullying you and your friends, and I'm just responding. You're responding to him harassing and bullying you by harassing and bullying him and his friends. It's fine though. I really don't care. I mean, just a friendly neighborhood watchdog over here. I've done nothing illegal and I'm not an idiot. I'm just talking about people that are talking about me, and I know the law very well and what's classed as too far. I'm not stupid enough to continue to go after someone once they disengage with me. You're the only idiot with restraining orders. Then why'd you tell him to plug his phone back in? It sounds like you're willing to engage with him even when he's not engaging with you. It seems like you're trying to engage with his wife just to spite him, which, I mean, hey, he might be doing her a service. You never know. Anyway, I'm not stupid. Oh, yeah, I read that. You needed a court to intervene and stop you from targeting a woman and her family. I don't need a judge or the police to slap me with a order to stop. I'm already aware that your friend in the UK is helping you guys report me to the police, and I have purposely ignored the guy. Ha 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 ha. What I do have is him excessively tagging me. That's not nothing, and threatening me. The threatens might be something, but him tagging you is nothing. That's just, again, just don't engage with them or whatever. You could block him from tagging you. So that's within your power to stop. You don't need the police for that. Anyway, let's see if there's anybody else that went live. Savage Dave's live for some reason. Let's see what he's talking.
Yeah, it was not a fun one.
Yeah, Mother Nature.
It's a super bad install. So we had to pretty much reinstall instead of, go fix something simple. No.
Yeah, some boring junk over there. Hey, Jack's here. Oh, we could do this. Let's talk to Jackie. What up, Jack? How you doing?
I'm feeling blessed. I appreciate the invitation and thank you.
It was Eric's idea. Eric, if you want to join too, you could join.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so what's up, man? You got any topics or anything you want to talk about today?
Well, no, I'm here. Well, nothing specific. Honestly, I just respect and appreciate the invitation to hang out. Typically, on my stream, I've got an idea in my head of what I want to accomplish. Here, it's not that way. So,
all right. Well, I'm just looking for some drama clips, and John. So I like to check out the YouTube community and see what's going on. I was reading some messages from one of the ladies in the community. Her name's Kaylee, right? And she is calling like this dude Brett's family. Actually, hey, she might be the kind of person you could get in touch with. Hey, Kaylee, if you're out there, Kaylee, she might be able to help you. She's calling this dude's family because apparently he's been cheating on his wife and she's determined to let her know.
Oh,
She's gonna destroy that family and she don't care.
people are fascinating. The things we convince ourselves to do. It's really remarkable. Hey, you had mentioned earlier your discovery of some of the information on the quantum physics topic.
Yeah,
That really is fascinating to me.
it is. It was kind of mind blowing to me today. It's like, what the hell?
Have you come across stuff on the mind much? Consciousness, like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza?
No, but what do they talk about?
Dr. Bruce Lipton he presents concept of epigenetics, that our genes are genes that come from our heritage.
Mhm.
They're just potentials. There's more influence on the gene development in the environment than in what is passed down. And he connects all of the biology and all the chemical into the way we think. We can literally alter our body and the realm through our minds. It's fascinating.
I mean, I was like wondering if I could do that today, but I don't think I can. It's just it felt like, oh, you're in the Matrix or something when you can start doing kind of stuff like that. But I don't know. I was staring at clouds like when I was on break. I was just kind of chilling in the car and I was like looking at the clouds. I was like, all right, close my eyes. See if I can just kind of try to move them. Just move them. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, like they definitely moved, and then I don't know, but I don't know if I moved or they're just moving. But whatever. I was like, hey, something.
Well, there's a lot more power to our minds than what the traditional systems and modern entertainment want to show us. The power of the mind, it is one of Bruce Lipton's books is The Biology of Belief. That one it's got a lot of testimonies and people. It's like through the spiritual teachings as well. The power of the mind can actually manifest and transform. And you mentioned the concept of using kinetic thought and kinetic energy to move the clouds. Well, some of the traditions, some of the ancestors, they may have known ways to be one with and kind of influence the weather.
I mean, I don't know. I felt like there was something here, like obviously other smarter beings than us here on Earth. It seems like that was the case. And it's just because of the things that are just left behind that are relics or whatever. Like, it doesn't seem like they spent any time here, though. Like, really. Like, they just built things here. Like, this was like a workplace for them or something, because it didn't seem like they had little homes here or nothing. So, well.
There's a lot of mystery to history. But we live at a time of access to knowledge, and through the technology, we get to learn some of the history, some of the mysteries of the past. And I have a feeling, well, this just makes sense to me, man. When mankind stops lying to each other,
Yeah.
if if people cooperated with people, imagine what we could discover working together to put together the pieces of the past to help, foster and promote new discoveries.
I
The
mean,
world,
yeah, there's a lot of people that have already kind of did the small sections of the past, and we just got to connect all their work together on like was it like a macro scale or whatever, kind of make it into like take all these little things, little micro things, and make them into a macro picture for us to understand. But that's hard to do. I mean, it's really hard to do. We need Elon Musk.
well, this is where I feel blessed. When the labor dispute started with me, I didn't have a job to go to. There was 3 years where I'm trying to figure out what do I do, and had a lot of time to learn.
Mhm.
And so I got a pretty big picture, a good picture of the big picture of the uh, development and evolution of society, mankind. It's There's patterns to history, there's patterns to life individually and on the greater scale. And I've been blessed, man. I've been collecting knowledge from the world, learning and studying from other people who've spent their lives learning and studying.
Mhm.
And this is what I realized. The more I learned about the world and saw through the illusions, the illusions of authority. Dude, American history is so corrupted. Well, look at what people are fighting for in politics. It's insane, dude.
Yeah, I guess like I really don't watch too much of the Trump and Harris stuff right now. Like if we're
I
talking
don't either.
politics, I
I
mean,
don't
I
either.
try to like I did check in yesterday like cuz I got Amazon Prime, so I was like it was like, "Hey, you got live news." I was like, "All right, what's in the news?" And of course, I was like, "Oh, it's the election thing." I listened a little bit, right? Trump. He's like insulting Kamala. He's like, she's dumb, she's weak, whatever. We're gonna win. Let's go. But Kamala, I don't know what she was like really saying, but these white ladies, they loved it. They were cheering. They were like, we're gonna win. They were fired up. Like, I think, like, just based off that reaction, she might win just because of them. Like, she had them going, like, they were fired up for her. Like I think women are just like, hey, if it's the choice between a woman and Donald Trump, I mean, all the women are probably voting for her if they're new voters, probably.
It's it's amazing how committed people will get to these idols, celebrities of politics. There's so much happening that affects our lives more than Harris and Trump, yet Harris and Trump are evidence of the problem. How on earth, how on earth can we be so excited about choosing the lesser evil?
I mean, I don't even know which one's the lesser evil because honestly, if I were
They're
a
the-
voting man, I'd vote for Trump. I mean, but that
I
might
think
just be my bias because of her vagina and her dumb personality. I don't know.
they're the same. The systems are broken. And so even good people, if they're not paying attention, they start going along with the systems. It's just a political stage. Even whoever's president, he's obedient to a bunch of people.
No,
A bunch,
yeah, it's a job, it's a job.
right. Well,
You
this
got
is
to be obedient to everybody at that point, like everybody. I mean, that's crazy, but you really do. Like everybody that you got to
no,
keep everybody away because you got to be obedient to everybody. It's crazy.
no. What I mean is, it's quite apparent that people are writing out, telling him what to say. He goes where he's told to go. He says what
Oh,
he's told to
Biden? For
say.
sure.
Yeah, the world would be safer if he was like in a retirement home.
He will be
And
soon.
well, and fuck, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is he's America, you know, prideful, boastful, deceitful, manipulative, focused on greed, selfishness.
He's a shotgun. He'd be full American. But yeah,
Well,
he is selfish, and he's always been kind of like a racist and like a sexist and everything. But he is changing his behavior slightly. It's getting better. So I think that shot in the face really strained him out a bit. Honestly, I think he had one of those moments where he was like, "Oh my God, my life could have ended here. What am I doing? Am I like?" And maybe rethinking things. I mean, like just that little bit alone, and the fact that I know what he's like for 4 years, and I just won't be watching this time because the first 4 years I watched all of that shit, every little shit he did, all the times he was lying, all the shit. Everybody, like, it was just everybody's eyes were on him. It was like infrastructure week, like 50 weeks in a row, and nobody ever did it. It was awesome. Oh yeah, KD, $20. KD. Thank you, KD. Appreciate that.
I used to, as a postal employee, I used to pay quite a bit of attention to C-SPAN and what Congress was doing, and I used to believe in the voting system and the justice system. Today I know it's corrupted. Secrets and lies.
Well,
Secrets and lies give the government the illusion of power.
what do you think they're lying about specifically? Like what do you think they're hiding that can maybe help us? Besides, I'm thinking they're hiding technology from us that can help all of us, because I don't see why we wouldn't have it by now. Like, all these things that we can think of should be easily made, like, or at least attempted to be made and experimented. Like, I don't see why we're not doing that shit. It's weird.
Here's what I found. The governments exist to protect the corporations because the focus has been on the bankers' lies. We've created a species that's dependent upon money in order to share. And I mean, this is what I was pointing at earlier. We deny educating each other's children because of the cost, and then we make it so that good educations are, they're just for those who are willing to go in debt, because the colleges have to make their money and they've got to be able to pay and invest.
Yeah, I had to go into debt to go to college. It was just a community college. So
it's insanity. It's insanity. If we want a greater world, we will make sure our children receive all the support they need to learn anything, everything. We don't have the education systems and the corporate systems and the government systems, they serve the purpose. They brought us to where we are.
But you think they're out of date, or they're just running amok now because of like the people? Like, the thing is though, like, even if we took all the people that were congressmen and women, we replaced them, we'd just be replacing them with other humans, and they're just gonna become the same. Power corrupts, I think, in a way.
Under the current system, it does, because corruption is enabled. We've got these layers of bureaucracy that it's all insanity. We can change the laws and the rules so that cooperation and life, those are the goals, not profits, not militarization. behind every war is the economic system. And this system of selfishness, where the selfish liars have been enabled. I mean, that's literally what this voting system is going to prove. People are willing to enable selfish liars to rise to power. A vote for Trump or Harris, as far as I'm concerned.
Shaq, have you ever thought about buying a plot of land and just starting a cult?
Mhm.
Like acres of land? Like you could literally do that. And like if you had that like land, right? The people that travel into it, you can preach to them, tell them things, and if they don't believe in your way, they can leave. And and then as soon you'll have a following and a group there, and you'll be the leader of your own little land within America, within things. But I mean, still, it would be maybe your personal like space. Like I feel like you would need to go to like a kind of like a secluded area, because I feel like you'd need acres of land for this to work, and it would just be like cheaper that way. But
I found there's communities, I think it was in Brazil, South America, Central America. I don't remember exactly where, but there was equity in the house. I considered selling the house, buying into a property commune, and leaving America.
dang, I don't know if I'd want to go to Brazil.
Well, the idea is what you said,
Yeah.
to escape. But then that's not my path. My path has brought me to where I am, and it makes sense to me to pursue these goals based on everything I've learned and the life I've lived.
Mm-hmm.
I spent my life fighting for others, fighting and serving in the jobs and the roles I played. And in my years at the Postal Service and through my union, I spent years arguing at bosses, right? Yelling at bosses, representing justice and fairness and fair application of rules. Well, history shows the United States is not as much a government as it is a corporation. Okay, so we've got a corporate structure there in Congress in Washington, D.C. for the Corporation of America that profits off of all of us and our participation in taxes and fines.
I get
Right?
that. Yeah.
So I've envisioned myself standing up for the workers of the world and for the people of the world. I want to confront the world's biggest problem, the bosses in Congress and the White House who think they are in charge of this nation. They're responsible for the welfare and safety of every man and woman within these lands. And when they're funding wars, creating more enemies, none of us is safe.
Yeah, I get like starting wars and stuff is like gonna cause problems, but it seems like the wars are gonna happen pretty soon anyway. Like,
Until we end them, they'll happen. But here's the reality: wars end, fights end when people stop fighting. So
yeah, but people aren't gonna. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's evidence that shows that the the aggression and true genocide, war crimes being perpetrated by Israel, those would not have been continuing as long had the United States citizens not been funding that. Okay, so that's one way for the wars to end, is for the U.S. representatives to stop enabling wars, stop using our children, the citizens, and the children of our citizens to defend the atrocious decisions being made by government officials.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's why they're doing money in Ukraine. Like they're like, well, at least we're not sending you guys to war. They're just sending a bunch of money and like, hey, they're fighting the war for us because our biggest threat's always been Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia. You know, they've always been our biggest threat. And China has always been like quiet, so they don't threaten us.
Threats create enemies, enemies create wars, wars create profits, right? And as long as there's wars going on, there is no freedom for anyone. The actual climate in the proxy war, you brought up Ukraine, you're right.
Mhm.
The US is paying so Ukrainian people can continue to defend an onslaught. It's a
Right, Dave?
proxy war against Russia,
Mhm.
where men and women in Ukraine are, they're the victims, as are the citizens of Russia and
Yeah,
China.
the Russia and freaking Ukraine, they really victimized. Well, I guess like Russia kind of got victimized, like their community, like in a weird way, because a lot of their businesses just shut down and left because they were like, we're not in favor of this war, and they felt like Russia just started it, because they didn't have to start it.
Well, I can understand why Putin did what he did.
I do too.
It's the
He's
game
afraid
thing.
of them being in NATO, and he don't want NATO that close to Russia.
Right. And all of these games of borders and states, all it's doing is funding the international banking system. Every government has sold out the resources and the people of their lands so that they can be a part of this world tentacle where everyone is wage slaves. We're slaves to money, not to wisdom, not to creativity. Some people are, but we can change this world.
I'm a little worried if we all join NATO. Like, let's say at the very end, everybody's in but Russia, and Russia decides to join. I'm afraid that would be the new world order, and we just created, the apocalypse on our own. God don't like when we do that shit. He don't like when we're all together on the same. He's like, no, no, no. Let me destroy all you motherfuckers that throw you around. I'll reshuffle the board.
That's not how I would portray it.
That's
People
just
are-
what I'm worried about.
I
What do
know.
you think? How do you think it'll go?
People have been taught to fear that world government because there is that group that is working to take over the world. These shareholding companies, Vanguard, BlackRock, whatever, these huge corporations have taken ownership of corporations and governments, and they're involved in the wars with Ukraine, planning the rebuilding. There's probably already contracts agreed to rebuild Palestine, once all the demolish and cremations are removed.
Which is all more work and contracts. It's all work. That's all work. Everything
Well,
has to get paid.
No,
That's the problem with, like, if we worship money, man. That is part of it. Every action needs some money to facilitate progress, apparently.
Well, this is the thing. There's already maneuvering to weaken the American dollar, right? The BRICS group. That's the world economic system is changing. Many of the banking systems want us to be caught up on this digital dollar thing, but there's reasons to fear or worry. Actually, no, there is no reason to fear or worry when we know the solution. And here's the reality. If we don't change things, that's the direction we're going. The one world order where oppression and separation is the rule, obedience and distraction. If we don't change, that's the truth. But here's the other option. We, as the people, we get control of our government. We get we create the space for, and we insist upon, we create better representation, okay? So that these lobbyists don't have more power. The corporations and the lobbyists aren't the only ones who get the attention of, the people.
Mhm.
I'm tired of getting blown off, sincerely, by people in government and elsewhere, but
I was gonna suggest the one thing you need if you want somebody's attention is apparently money. That is the thing, sadly. And you know how a politician is. For them, everything is money. Money, money, money. Hey,
and
Mike's
that's
in the
why
chat. Hey, Mike.
and that's why I've been trying to get introductions. I know there's
Mhm.
people out there with money who could be willing to invest in what I'm doing, or maybe open more doors through their connections. That's the way real business happens. It's through human connection,
Yeah.
people, right? So that's been used for the powerful and those who are at the top. But for
Mhm.
whatever reason, it's been impossible for me to get common people to cooperate. And it's been crazy, dude. But praise God.
Well, I think the thing is you would have to set a date and an actual action or objective. And like a lot of times, I mean, I know like you want to make changes here, but then sometimes you want to focus on the mental aspects of like religion stuff, like the love and the peace and stuff. And it's like sometimes we got to plan the government stuff. And like how we got to take time doing the government takedown stuff sometimes, and
Well, it's simple.
Mhm.
I mean, I've been talking about what I've been doing, and I
Mhm.
encourage others who have knowledge, go and introduce yourself to the judges, to the local city officials, see if you can get to their attention and speak to them as human beings. You know,
Mhm.
that's what I've been trying to do in my community. That's what I
I'd have
want
to
to
even see
do.
what my people's names are here. I don't know who the hell they are. I see a bunch of signs like "Vote for me," blah 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 out there. Like they're all on the streets, like the little signs they put up with the two sticks and the zip ties.
Well,
But
the
yeah, I should probably
candidates,
meet them.
you should. And then, here's the reality: the systems are corrupted. I can explain these things in many different ways. And actually, I said I've been gathering a lot of information. If you're interested in some of the people like Bruce Lipton or the others,
Mhm.
actually, I've been considering doing a post recently about some of the amazing things and people I've been learning from.
Mhm. That's what I try to do at work or like whenever I'm bored or whatever. I try to like listen to some of these things or learn about something new or something. And that's why I was kind of excited about that whole like Book of Enoch thingy because it was like I hear a lot about this, but it was like just actually listening to some of the tales. I guess they're called parables from it, the tales from it. Some pretty interesting. I gotta learn more about it. I'm pretty sure there's movies, right? Too. Like I want to read the book. I want to watch the movies. I'm interested. I bet the movies will be cool.
Admittedly, I've gotten kind of lazy because it's easier for me to learn from lectures,
Mm-hmm.
documentaries. I love documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I haven't been reading as much as I could be. I've got a stack of books that I intend to get through, but um learning, that's why we're here. We're here to learn, but we were born into a world of consumption and entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
selling us the next bright, shiny, tasty, crunchy. We're a bunch
Yeah,
of
That's what we do. We make things and other people consume them, and we consume things that other people make. We go out and buy them or whatever. Yeah. That's it.
But the focus has been on for profits and control, or
Yeah.
survival and punishment.
Well, you got to focus on all those things. That's the trick of it all. Is like you're not one or the other. You got to like focus on your survival. You got to have like a little bit of self-control. And if somebody tries to take your shit, you got to be able to dish out some punishment. You got to protect your shit.
This is where we've been brainwashed. Ownership and gotta defend and protect, and we need to be honest. And if we were honest and fair with each other, we wouldn't have as much crime. We wouldn't have, as many worn out dads after. This world is corrupt, man. There's so many. Mankind is working harder than it has to. Why? Because shareholders got to make their profits, got to increase the productivity, and we've lost sight. A business should not exist unless there is true value for the employees, the planet, and the people.
You know who did a decent job recently was McDonald's. They upped their employees' benefits. They decided to feed them one meal on the, like on their lunch, so they could order wherever they want to eat it for free. And I guess they get like some kind of college thingy. So if they go to college, they get like a thing paid for by them, like a little bit of their tuition or whatever. So like they're doing some good shit. I mean that is and they're paying like what, 19 an hour. So that's not bad.
It's a step in the right direction, but I truly believe it's because that's what society has been insisting on. There's been a lot of people fighting and demonstrating, trying to bring awareness to the fact that the minimum wage nonsense, it's ridiculous.
Especially like the minimum wage always has to be somewhere like going up with inflation around this, like somewhere.
And it hasn't. That's the thing. The laws and the rules of this land, they were designed to protect the owning class. So it's created this Wild West idea, the Darwinian, only the strongest survive. And then everyone's made excuses to battle against each other. We don't need to fight. We need to cooperate.
Well, yeah, but like in my mind, I think like, okay, this is, because I'm smoking weed. This, I think, some trippy things, right?
Good.
Like I watch Rick and Morty. So like there's this thing in Rick and Morty. It's called like a something. It's like it's a freaking thing you get into, and it's a simulation, right? And basically that's what I'm kind of feeling like life is in a way. It's a simulation in a weird way where everything is possible, and the things you're thinking, and like you're like, I think you were saying earlier, like if you focus on these things and think about them or even meditate on them. But I mean, I just usually, when I meditate, I don't know, call it meditating, when I just close my eyes and I just breathe a little bit, relax, I just feel peace, because I try not to think of nothing. I just try to see like nothing. I don't want to see anything. I just want to have quietness. And sometimes that's the best thing in the world. Just quietness. It's the best thing sometimes. It really is healing mentally. Like, I think that is, like you're saying, like it stops all the noise. And like the thing is too, when I'm at work listening to things all the time, all noise constantly directly in the ears, blasting you, and like all the time, overload information, talking to people, making all these weird connections, and then like wondering about like people, like, oh, people hate you, they could dox you, they could do this, they could do that, like all this stupid shit. Threats I get about shit, like just a bunch of stuff. I mean, it is like, and it all comes from the noise I put into my my mind. Basically the stuff I take in. So I don't know. It is like, because if I just take off the headphones and I'm working my day, or if I just watch a movie instead, life's a lot more peaceful and not as crazy. It's just chill, whatever, something. There's a lot of good ways to find peace in the world. I think I'm glad we got those opportunities. Those are things I'm grateful for, because like you were saying, there's people at wars and they're getting blown up and their families dying and stuff. They don't got opportunities to be like, well, it's just meditative. Like, it's a little too late for all that.
What you said is what I learned for myself. And a long time ago, what I envisioned as I was doing my shadow work within myself, watching my triggers and stuff, I realized all my triggers were my thoughts. So I envisioned, if I wanted to be a man more like Jesus, well, I would live in a meditative state, a mind without conflicts or judgment.
Mhm.
And so it took me about a year after roughly, because at some point I aligned that was my goal. Because the idea of meditation, what you said, just being, if you're all caught up in your problems in your life, you're not going to be grateful. You're not one of those others, right? And
Yeah.
there's others who they're fighting, praying. Well, there's people praying to die.
Have you ever seen the movie Click by Adam Sandler? There's this
No.
movie where
Oh.
Adam Sandler has a remote and he could fast forward time, right? And he starts using it too much, and I guess he loses control of it. And I always thought of like something like when you're not really focused on anything, or you're just like, hey, I'm clocking in, I'm clocking out, clocking in, I'm clocking out. I noticed time just kind of flies by like that. Like it's like, oh, my work week's done, or whatever, And it's like, it does feel like time's going by a lot faster for me now, in my perspective, at least. And it's weird,
That's
but something. It's change I noticed.
that's what I'm pointing at when I say with the Holy Spirit. It's in the silence that we get the divine answers. And when we're at peace, we have a mind, a meditative mind, a mind that's at peace, that can focus. And a focus on the silence, that's where we can hear the voice of God, the voice of reason and love. That's where the better ideas are found. When we detach.
I feel like that's the best time to even just hear yourself, like, your own thoughts, because like, besides all the noise and all the little things popping in your little thoughts, like, oh, it's a little devil over here, a little angel over here. You should do that. You should do that. Now you think about this. I'm like, when you're doing that, it's kind of like, you're not really like, you're trying not to think about anything. So when one thing comes in, it's just like one thing. It's not usually like one thing. It comes in with its little friends on its shoulder,
That practice, though, of surrender. Let it be. And what you noticed, the mind chatter, where we consume food for the energy, but we're consuming information all day. And it's real easy to pick up the arguments and the worries, the complaints of someone else that you hear. You ever notice that?
Yeah, do it. And that's the problem too. There's like a person at work, I'm not gonna say their name or anything, but they are very negative. And I don't mean like towards me, like they just like to say a lot of things and they're always negative. And it's like not towards me, it's just complaining. And it's like, I don't know, because it's funny with my mom, right? When she complains about work stuff, it's like, I don't want to hear you complain about work, like I want to talk about your damn job or whatever. Complain about work, blah blah blah. Oh, Mike's here. Freaking, but like this dude at work, I was just like, yeah, I said whatever. Like, and I try not to let myself get caught up and start complaining too. That's the thing. It's like I gotta fight to keep myself. All right, Mike's here. What up, Mike?
What's happening?
What's happening?
just
Banana,
chilling,
what's up?
just
Yeah,
doing the things.
kind of
What
caught
you
the
been
back
up
end.
to?
Yeah, just hanging, bouncing a little bit, hanging out, having fun.
Sorry about your baseball team.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It is what it is. But, dude, I knew that they were not going to win. Like they would have to come back like 4 games in a row. But it is what it is. I mean, Spike gave me a little bit of beating on it because Spike's a Dodger fan. So, but it's all good.
Did they win that one game or did they lose all 4?
They just the one game they won, they destroyed them. I think it was the highest scoring game ever in World Series history. It was like 11-4. But then the next game, they were up to win, and then they blew it in 1 inning. It is what it is. But that's baseball.
Yeah.
I love baseball, but I love football more. And my team is terrible. I'm a Giants fan. They are terrible this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cardinals
but
are doing better now.
they're doing good. It's crazy. There's a lot of good teams. You know, it's going to be
If they
interesting.
win tomorrow, well, they're number 1 in the NFC West right now, but that's just because they beat like 2 of their rivals. So if they win tomorrow, they'll have it like locked in for a bit.
Well, sports is a good distraction, you know, watching sports, as long as you don't get too emotional in them. But it's a good distraction from everything going on. Because I can't wait to I can't wait to the Sunday game. But now this year I don't because we're horrible. So but usually you can't wait to watch that game. You know? But are you guys going over religion and stuff?
Yeah, we're talking about some religious stuff, some meditation stuff, like mostly about like clearing the mind and noise right now.
You know, that's the hardest thing to do. So the biggest thing is like with me, I have a super active mind. Like I'm always thinking of something 24/7. Like I'm always thinking about, I can never relax. So the only time I can ever sleep is when my life is like perfectly how I think it's going to be. Like if I have any kind of opposition, I can't sleep. Like I think about it all night long, you know? So resting your mind, I think is the most it's difficult. It really is to be able to find that inner peace and just totally log out, click off, just lay there and don't think about anything. You know, it's the hardest thing to do. You know, I used to be able to do it when I was younger, but with life's everything going on in life, it's really, really hard to do. You know, and
Mike,
people take drugs to help them. People,
You could just talk over them, Jack. I mean, sometimes you gotta do that.
Go ahead.
well, I want to make sure, Mike, I know what you're talking about. I used to have the same issue, the monkey mind problem. I trust I could help you. It's things may appear hard, may appear difficult, but as with everything in life, once we see, like in our mind conceptually, what the goal is, once we figure something out, it's easy. And it really is easy to surrender the monkey mind. It's the monkey mind that is unwilling to surrender.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, I feel like when you're like in that kind of thing, it's like a fog or something. Like if you're in that kind of situation, then it's not like it's not so much like surrendering sometimes because it's like you're in a fog. Yeah, you be like, hey, surrender, and be like, I'm in the fog. I don't know what that means. Yeah.
So if you're saying that you need to relax, I'll never relax. This is the way that I am. This is the way I've always been.
It would just sound like rah, 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 rah. Like something like that. Was it from that cartoon?
Peanuts.
Yeah, it will come through like that in my mind. That's what I mean, because like you're too distracted with your monkey business.
But I don't have a monkey. I actually get things done. I'm intelligent. I have a good job. I mean, I do. But I mean, my mind always races. Some people just have that kind of thing.
If you want to change it, you can change it. If you want it to be like it was, it'll be like it was.
Now, how do you go about changing it for him? How would you recommend he starts if he wanted to? I know he likes this. He likes it. You know how he is. He finds it cool. But like, if you were to change him, can you try? Let's see what happens.
I would point out a couple of things. My experience with a mind that's overactive, it's looking for security and solutions. It feels it can create a big burden and it can be useful as well. But an overactive mind is an indication of unresolved memories or unreconciled beliefs. And the thing is, what we're talking about, this idea of surrendering to the stillness, there you do experience, Mike, you do experience periods and times when you're doing something and you're just doing, right? And there's no chatter. I bet you do experience those times. The idea is to create that time of silence and stillness and practice it. And soon, with an intention of, I want more peace in my mind, we start selecting which problems are worthy of our time, which opinions and battles are worthy of our time and energy. Makes sense?
It does. But what if I don't want peace? What if I want war?
Oh, dang.
I think you're lying to yourself. You should
I'm
ask
not
yourself
lying.
why. What's the reason
What
you
kind
want
of
more?
war are we talking
I'll tell
about
you,
here?
I'll tell you why. Because some people are lambs, some people are lions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm a lion. I'm not a lamb. And I'll never be a lamb. I'm never going to lay down or bow down or bow
What
out.
about a sheep? Could you be a sheep?
I could. They're delicious. They actually taste good.
So you'd be a
But
sheep,
I'll
but
never-
not a lamb.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Consider what you're saying, though. You're saying you need a war so that you can be a warrior.
No, I just am a warrior. I'm a warrior. I'll
No.
fight.
He's a
No.
warrior, so he wants to start false wars so he can fight people that he don't need to fight. That's it.
He wants a war to justify himself so he can prove himself not whatever a lamb is.
He's the John Bolton of YouTube. He's like, we need war. War good.
War prevents learning.
Sure.
War
Jack,
prevents growth.
Sure. We destroy our institutions, our financial stuff for a bit, and everybody gets dumber, but the rich people get more rich.
Yep.
War is a business. War is a business. It's never going to end. It's never going to end.
It's a racket. And
That's how
victims,
God made us. God made us perfectly imperfect.
That's
Yes, he did.
brainwashing you've chosen to believe so that you can create these battles with people who probably don't want your battles.
Am I gonna have to separate you two? Look at me in
I
the
don't
middle.
know.
I was just joking. I just wanted to move myself to the middle. I thought it'd be funny.
On YouTube or anywhere in life, I've never picked a fight. Ever.
Have you ever been in wars? Didn't you serve as a uniformed position of some sort?
I was in law enforcement.
Okay. So can you imagine and understand the evils of war?
Of course.
Okay. So why do you want to believe that that cannot be changed? That doesn't make sense to me.
It's never going to change. There are good people and evil people.
But
that's just the way it is. It's
okay,
never going to change.
Mike, it's never going to change if people don't want it to change. And I'm dead serious about wanting it to change. And I'd love for more people to consider the idea that our world can continue without wars. We can reform all of the systems. We don't have to be militarized and policed. Here's the reality. If we get beyond the confusion, the beliefs and divisions, the excuses to fight, we can create better ways for everyone in the world to live without relying on wealth and authority, right? Budgets and someone else's rules become the excuses for war and homelessness, people put in prisons. got to justify the numbers, right? Got to pay for those employees who monitor the people in prison. And while the people in prison, what are they doing? Their families are left to survive on their own. We live in a world that's so insane. We don't have
Of course
to
it
fight.
is.
We
Of course it is. But I think it's within our nature to fight. I think we have an animal spirit. I think a lot of us have it. Some do, some don't. But I think the notion of no war, no police, no military, I think it's convoluted. I don't think it's never going to happen. No matter how hard
not
you
with
try.
people like you who want to war with everybody, who want to
People like me.
war
Jack,
against
Jack,
ideas.
True,
stop.
Mike did want to just argue just because he's bored. He's like, hey, I'm a fighter and I want war. I get that. I feel that too, Mike. I totally get those, like, where I'm just like, I'm bored and I'm gonna troll some people and fuck with them. But I guess that's like what Jack's saying needs to stop, like, just, I guess, abusing each other for the hell of it because it's funny. I guess, I don't know.
I'm not
think
laughing.
I
just think
laugh
you're
at a lot of this.
I'm not laughing. I just think, Jack, your message is ridiculous. It's
yeah,
not going to happen.
Mike,
It's not going to happen.
Mike, you're not God.
I never said I was.
Well, stop acting like you know the future, like you know that I'm on a path of failure.
You do?
Fuck
So, Jack,
you and your disrespect, Mike.
Now you're cursing at me. I'm not cursing at you, Jack. I'm not cursing at you.
Right. You're in denial about how disrespectful your behavior is.
No, you're in denial with
He
your
knows.
ridiculous.
He knows
thinking.
what he's doing, though, Jack. He knows.
No,
He knows
he
what
knows
he's doing.
not what he's doing because he's defending evil, not realizing it.
So am I evil, Jack? Am I evil when I wear a cross, when I wear Jesus Christ's cross and I go to church? Am I evil?
You show yourself as a hypocrite.
Do I? And you don't? So you're not a
Let's
hypocrite.
start with you.
So you're not a hypocrite, Jack? You haven't done things in your past, or you haven't broken anything in your life?
Past, I'm talking about right now. You are
Let's talk
showing
right
yourself
now.
as a hypocrite.
How am I a hypocrite?
You
Because
want
I'm
to
saying
wear.
that some people are more prone to be attacking, and some people are more prone to
Let
be
him
sneaky.
answer, Mike. Don't answer for him. Let him answer, and then rebut
ahead.
whatever his thing is.
Thank you,
Go ahead, Jack.
Mike. Where the contradiction I see, you may not realize it. I'm confident you don't realize what you're saying or doing because you're wearing the idol of Jesus, presenting yourself as though that's what you are, but you're promoting war. Jesus, he wasn't here for wars. His purpose was to lead the way to unite the children of God with our Father. Now, I don't really think our Father in heaven created the earth and the heavens and all of us so that we could sit here arguing online every day. I don't think that's the purpose. I think the purpose, particularly as Christians, can be and should be to see peace on earth, to live a life that honors the sacrifices and the teachings of Jesus, loving one another, love God above all, love God. And we're not showing a love of God if we're making up all our own rules and disrespecting each other. We know better.
But Christians, Jack, killed more than anybody in history.
I'm talking about you.
I'm talking about Christians. You said Christianity.
Right. Those are false.
So if you're a Christian, aren't you a warrior?
Mike,
Aren't
you're
you,
right.
if you're a Christian, aren't you a warrior?
Mike,
you a
I'm
warrior?
sorry. You're right. There have been many deceived people identified as Christians here in America. There was slave-owning Christians. They thought they were righteous in their purchase and management of the beasts. It's a bunch of delusional nonsense, dude.
Did Jesus like know about slavery back then? Like, wasn't there slaves back then in that time?
Yeah, the first slaves were the Jews. That was the first slaves.
Like,
And then what happened?
I
God
thought I
freed
thought he
them from
talked about it
slavery.
though, like, but he spoke on it, right? He was aware of it and everything.
Mhm.
But like, was Jesus against the slaves, or was it God that was against the slaves? Like, because God had to be the one to free him, right? Or is it all part of a collective consciousness still? Because that's why I don't know what it is, honestly. I'm curious. I'm just snowballing here.
I
Spitball,
love
whatever it is.
I love that honesty. I mean, I've been exposed to a lot of theories and perspectives, and it makes sense to me though, the fall, the descent of mankind into the primitive beasts that we've become. And the story though of the Christ is for every one of us to embody, to die to the ways of the world, to be brought back to life with the Holy Spirit of life that is the living truth. So the stories of the Bible, the untaught lesson is stop selling yourself short. Stop becoming a slave to opinions, a slave to a paycheck, a slave to a government, a slave. Stop becoming slaves to the past. This is where our religion has failed us, particularly of the Christian evolution, right? They taught fear of God, really emphasize that, and the fear of hell. People who live in fear tell lies. People who live in fear will make excuses. I got to do this to survive. And the truth is, what Jesus showed is leadership. That man demonstrated leadership with honor, presenting and speaking and teaching common law, truth of God, sharing love and compassion, wisdom with those who found him.
Mhm.
I'm doing my best to follow that way.
I mean, yeah, again, I still think the best way to get that is literally the acres of land, and just whoever stumbles upon it, you speak to them. Or you invite people there when you meet them or whatever, something like that. And then you build, or you have built whatever you can there, like things for them, or you make them build it. Fuck them, just get a working city, and then you're just the leader of a working city, and you just teach them this stuff all day, and eventually that just becomes their reality, and whoever you share with them will it'll be life.
I actually hope to help lead the world into freedom by exposing the beasts of rule. The prophecies are true. The beasts that have risen are the corporate and government structures. We don't have enemies in flesh and blood. We have enemies that are confusion and fear, selfishness. The excuses and blame are what corrupt us individually. Excuses and blame have the governments keeping secrets, creating enemies, funding militarizations. And meanwhile, you got all the profiteers, all the people serving the devil of temptation, saying, no, Mr. Congressman, Congresswoman, your constituents won't even know you're doing them a service, right? Take this little kickback and we'll all win. How long are we going to allow it to continue? I think God gave us free will and all the answers. Sorry to keep going, Mike. Go ahead, man.
It's all right.
Sorry.
It's just I'm hearing what you're saying, and some points are good, but the same token, you're quick to judge, to put judgment on someone else, but you're not looking at yourself. You're telling me, you don't judge, you don't do all these things, but then you're cursing at me and judging me. That's not godlike. It's not.
I'm
So I just
actually
Yeah,
Actually, I think that might be godlike, but you're not supposed to be godlike. You're supposed to be Jesus-like. So I mean, that would go against God because God is supposed to be the one judging people, and he's supposed to be the one like, if you're this, I'm gonna call you this. But yeah, if you're going for a Jesus thing, I don't know. Like, I haven't read the New Testament. I started with the old one, and I'm still at the beginning of the old one. I'm working my way through it.
The only thing
I got a lifetime to finish the books, but I'm working my way through them. So,
what I touched on is you said that everybody should be war free and peaceful and no wars and nothing, no military. Dude, the world needs warriors. They need them. Christians are warriors. They're warriors for God. Not everyone's going to put their hands up, peace, brother, and live in a big commune like it's Woodstock. Jack, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's just
I
not
know.
going to happen.
I know. There's your faith, isn't it? You got more faith in failure, more faith in doubts, more faith in conflicts than you do in God. You're a hypocrite, Mike.
I have more faith in failure. Dude, Jack,
Mike,
I have a
you're
child
in denial.
I have a child unlike you. I talk to my kids unlike you. I'm not a fucking failure. You are a fucking failure. You're a fucking failure.
Hey, Mike.
Angry. You're cussing, Mike. You're cussing now.
Get a little soapbox and preach, dude. You're a fucking loser. You're an
You're yelling. You're yelling, Mike.
That's what you are, dude.
Now.
Mike.
You're yelling and cussing now.
Here's the warrior coming out.
Easily you got
Here's the warrior coming out.
Look at your trigger.
Triggered? Dude, you're a piece of garbage. People make fun of you.
No,
you're
I
here
don't
to be
care.
You're here to make me fun of. Dude,
He's trolling you back now. He's trolling you now. Damn, it's like you got triggered.
Tell you what, I'm not
going
to. If
we're trolling you, dude.
Yeah,
you're
can you guys have can you guys go back to the conversation without arguing? You know, because that was.
Well, can you put? All right,
just settle down. Just settle down, Mike. This was interesting.
Only if you put joke Talcott. Put joke Talcott.
You can kiss my ass, Mike, with your disrespect.
Right? I'm not on sides. I just want you guys to continue your conversation. It was all good, but I get like he triggered you a little bit, Mike, and then you kind of spurred out there.
Hey. I'm not triggered. I'm not triggered at all. Trust me.
You're in denial, Mike.
Mike, you are in
denial. Are you in denial?
You are in denial. Look at your behavior.
What were you guys talking about before you guys started arguing? Does anybody remember? Because
yeah, it's okay. Jack, you know what trolling is? You know what that is?
You're a little bitch, Mike.
I'm a little bitch? Dude, I would
Why do you think Mike's a little bitch though? What is it about him? What is it? Hold on. I'm curious.
Jack, would you say it to my face?
Yes.
Would you call me that to my face?
Yes.
And what do you think would happen to you? What do you think would happen to you?
I don't give a shit. I stand on what is true. You're a little
What do you think would happen to you, Jack?
Mike.
Call me a bitch to my no, Jack, call me a bitch to my face. I'll put your old greasy ass in the ground. Straight up.
Gee. Wow. What?
Dude, aren't you a rapist? Aren't you a rapist?
No.
Aren't you a sexual predator, dude?
No. That escalated quickly.
But
you responded that like I will like put you in the ground. That's
would you say it to my face? Would you say it to my face?
Hey, Mike.
You wouldn't say it to me. Jack, you're a fat old handicapped man who lives on disability. That's what you are.
Hey, he's
not. Hey, I haven't shaved my beard in 9 years. Hey,
in his mind.
Look at my little hands. Look, I have Trump hands. Look at me. You're a dude, Jack. You're an old greasy joke.
Can you guys calm down and get back to the conversation?
Jack, no one takes you seriously, dude. You're a fucking moron.
I guess it's Mike. Mike, can you?
Let's end old wars. Let's end old wars. End old police. Old military. I'm out of your fucking mind, dude.
Well, there we go. Okay, we're back on track. What do you think would happen if we ended wars and military and all the police? What would happen? Because they did want to shut down, like the Democrats a few years ago wanted to shut down like some police stations or some shit. I don't know. Defund the police. I mean, like, what do you think would happen if we did that kind of shit? What happens if we give peace a chance, Jack? What happens then? We
I believe
defund
it-
everything.
I actually believe there's opportunities for miracles to come forth because through cooperation, we honestly redirect our energy, the distribution of energy. Take our young, fit men and women in the military. You know, they're very talented and gifted. Let's stop sending them into danger and let's send them to recovery efforts
Mhm.
to help rebuild, you know, land in America. And then we can start helping to restore the damages that sanctions and the corporate greed have taken. We can start helping some of the neighbor nations restore their infrastructure and their ability to survive. So then we don't have so many immigrants rushing to try and find a new life here. If America stops enabling the militarization and the corporate greed, the international banking system, we can reinvent ways to distribute value. We can reinvent ways to educate each other's children. We've got the technology and mechanization here today where technology, the advancements in technology that's happening without our knowledge. You and I, we know just a little bit of what's happening in the world.
Well,
So
Elon Musk is actually getting Starlink kind of around the world. So that is something where these third world countries are going to start getting, like, you know, basically access to the internet, and they're going to grow up in a internet age of their own. And that means we better protect our debit cards because, you know, they're going to be worse than the Indians. I'm sure.
well, this
Just
is the thing.
joking. They always call and scam me. They try. Well, they will never get me, but they're like, "We need 3 Google Play cards to fix this." I'm like, "No."
Hello, this is Mr. Williams from the IRS. It's all bullshit.
The point is, technology's advanced faster than the society, the morals and the values have developed.
Moore's law, baby. Moore's law.
Well, the development of the internet and such, it's been used even.
Yeah, look it up.
There's good and bad in everything. When we stop enabling corporate greed and state oppression, we'll be free. And we stop enabling corporate greed and state oppression when the employees no longer can legally keep secrets. If corporations and communities and nations shared best practices, right? Working together, sharing technologies, resources, mechanizations, ideas, we could reduce the requirement for labor, for human labor. We could redirect a lot of the business and efforts into cleaning up our oceans, restoring our rivers, regenerating the soil, and actually really supporting the agriculture, really supporting the education system. Take care of our healthcare providers. Take care of the people who are caring for our elderly.
I feel like almost any education you want is readily available, you know. Oh, David's here. Let's see what David's up to today. Woo. Hi, David.
What's up, Ham Banana? Hello, Jack. New to you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dave. I got a question. I've been sitting here listening for a little while now. So how do you really think that we're going to solve all of the third world places that they don't want help? You know, there's places that you can go and throw hell with problem.
Kind of broke off.
Than get help.
Sorry, I was doing some audio adjustments from there. All right, talk again, David. Let's see if it sounds normal.
I think I got what he was asking.
All right.
What I heard.
Something happened there. I don't hear anything.
No, I had to do the echo cancellation and adjust your mic real quick. That was it.
You fell out for a moment there, Dave. But if I understood the question, what do you do about those third world nations that would rather war than receive outside help? Is that what you were asking?
Oh shit.
David, we can all hear you. Oh, no. See, now he thinks his stupid microphone's broken. Damn it. He'll be right back, I'm guessing. Let's see. I told Mike he needs to get a headset. But he don't get a no headset. Yeah, I'm surprised he got so mad at you there, like about what you guys like. I guess when you guys disagree.
Well,
What'd you say that triggered him though? What was that?
I did get insulting. I don't remember specifically, but I trigger
I don't
people.
either.
People get triggered by me. Banana, this is my
Well, he was
wild.
asking for it though, because he kept prodding, like probing at you. He kept jabbing, and he was asking for it. It's like, I mean, you gave it back to him. He got a little upset. No, not a big deal. That happens.
I confront people's beliefs.
Mhm.
And the truth is, the propaganda and the entertainment industry, they've proven to be very successful. Here, if I remember his question, it was, what do you do about those other nations? And it's true, like Sudan, Haiti, they're at war with themselves right now, and they've got a record of most don't want help and others live in mud huts. Similar, I'm going to use Mike as an example.
Damn, Mike getting roasted while he's not here.
Well, doesn't want help, wants to believe that fighting is the way. Guess what? In our communities and maybe in some households, there's addicts. There's people dealing with unresolved anger. They feel like they're in a fight with the world and they share bitterness and death. I mean, there's wars going on. In my experience, wars can end when people stop fighting. But the idea to stop fighting, it often comes from those not involved, right? Because once those
Yeah.
who are in battles, they're caught up in the fight.
Yeah.
And this
It'd
is
be like
where
if I'm in a battle, you tell me to stop. It'd be like you're just on the other side now. You better get out of my way. Here comes David. He can answer or ask the question again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on the computer now, so you should be able to hear me better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my question was, because I got the question out, but I didn't hear anything when you did the noise cancellation thing. Completely shut my audio out.
Oh, we could still hear you. We heard
right,
you go,
but I couldn't hear you,
and then you left.
Okay,
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything you guys said, so I just went ahead and shut the phone off and decided to do it this way.
Right.
So again, the question is, how do we help the ones over in third party countries that don't want the help, that they would rather just live in the mud huts and go to war with anybody that decides to get onto their territory? How do we change their minds? I mean, I'm not trying to attack your thoughts. I think what you're trying to do is a good idea, trying to solve world peace. But it's just, in today's age, it's just not plausible. There's not enough people out there that think the way that you do in order to make it work.
I disagree. I know.
How many people do you think on this planet, out of 8 billion people, how many do you think your way? I can guarantee you, the people that I live with in my house right now wouldn't think that way. They want to go war with people that possible presidents. They're all evil mind thoughts. You're not going to change them people. In order to do what you're asking as far as world peace, you'd have to take out the evil minded people, which is doing exactly what you're against, is warring. You'd have to take out the evil minded people. Do you think you could have changed Hitler's mind?
Well, let me ask you, are you willing to allow your mind to be changed?
Well, I change my mind every day. It's I've started out with this not this live stream, but doing this live streaming stuff as a totally different person that I am today. So I've always been open to change. But
All
you've
right.
got some crazy people out there,
I
that
don't
they're
deny
not
that.
willing to change, and there's nothing that your word or your gospel can do to change those people.
Hmm.
There's always
But if,
going to be bad people out there that are going to look like geniuses and lead wars.
hmm
Always going to have that problem.
hmm and if you're willing to allow your mind to change, then maybe I can share some things. But if you don't want your mind to change, you'll continue believing exactly what you think.
Well,
So,
enlighten me, Jack. Enlighten me.
well,
Oh boy.
you're right. There are many evil people perpetrating evil in the world today. No denial. But my path, my purpose, I didn't understand much about goals. I understood about surviving. I didn't understand how to live. I knew how to survive. Um, I followed the American dream for much of my life, and I was a diseased alcoholic praying for death. Well, my life changed. I learned some different things, those different ideas, and I started putting them into practice. And well, I believe America is poised at this point right now. We could lead the rest of the world into reform and into peace, and we could bring some true hope and prosperity to the future. But if we want to believe that it can't change, we will never try.
I mean, I kind of agree with you on that. Sorry, lighting's all messed up. I kind of agree with you on that, but the one thing that again I have to touch base on is yeah, we might have the money to
You gotta
afford.
just say something, Jack. The finger, he's not even looking at you.
Well, I
Sorry,
didn't, Dave, I didn't want to interrupt, but I did fail to address something that you brought up. The idea of what to do with the evil people. Okay. My faith and my belief is that I changed. I believe others can change. And my faith and hope is that God is using my life as an example to teach and lead others. I'm trying to follow the way of Jesus. His way wasn't to attack and murder the evil, it was to lead people from the darkness.
Dude,
I'm not
I
claiming
can't
to
knock
be.
you on that one. I can't knock you on that. I I've been paying attention. I've watched you before. And Banana covers you. I've been over at your channel. I just don't chat. Um,
Thank you.
you know, I there's things that you say that does make very good sense, and then there's others that just leave me sitting there questioning, like, why. Like the one thing that you was talking about was wanting to go to Congress. Why would you want to do that? Remember that what happened January 6th. You don't want something like that to happen to you. Come on, because it could. It very well could. You're especially if you're putting the plans out here on the internet. That's no bueno, my guy.
This is my life, and I've considered the consequences of my choices, and even I've said foolish things, but I don't, I don't, I've considered this
I'm sure
idea.
you're on the FBI watch list for sure,
Yeah,
bro. You
exactly.
gotta be.
Hey,
You definitely are. Like I'm not even joking. With all this, we gotta interrupt these elections talk. Like that
Yeah.
alone would just get you on the watch list. I would think, just with all this stuff.
There's an old labor and folk singer named Utah Phillips, and he's got one of the stories
What
he
the
shared.
hell?
He shares a story about how the FBI was watching him, and so he knew that and talked about don't let him dig up, don't let him find the guns in the backyard, and then the FBI comes and digs up his backyard so he could return and plant it. His idea was, hey, the agents need to learn from someone. So I hope
you know, I after they dug up the back, I would have been like, you know, it's funny. I would have did another call, like, you know, what's funny is they were actually in the front yard. Be like, I just like hook everything up, you know. That'd be cool.
Hey,
Yeah, it's gonna suck though, because at my girlfriend's house, I'm actually gonna have to do that, like turn the dirt and then like water the shit out of it to get some grass to grow. Probably plant some little seeds or something, but
Yeah.
you have to do some work for that. Make it grow.
hey, I want to address the Congress thing because seriously, what I was saying, the best one to interrupt a fight is the one outside the fight. I want to be a voice for the people in front of Congress and the administration of the American government. I want to intervene.
600 million other people.
Well,
But Jack, you want to dissolve the government, but you want to go to them for help, but you want to dissolve them at the same time.
what's your
makes no sense.
confusion,
It makes no sense.
Mike, if you stop
Jack,
saying
Jack, yes. Don't talk like a fucking child, dude. All right.
stop acting like a child.
You make no sense. I'm gonna go to Congress. I'm gonna go to Congress to change the world. But you know what? We gotta take Congress apart. It makes no sense. Every one of your arguments, Jack, you make no sense. You're not going to affect change. You're not going to do anything.
You're
just
a fool.
Take the ride. Take the ride and go for it. Live your best life, dude.
Well, I mean, like, is there like how do you go about getting in front of Congress? Like, do you gotta schedule a meeting?
If I can speak,
yeah,
I can explain. Mike.
Right.
You've already explained it 100 times. You need people to call in, write letters, and shit like that. Dude, nobody gives a shit about your cause.
KD wants to play the kickoff game. Hey, we could make some money today.
Nobody cares, Jack. We want to live our best lives. We want to have the best life.
Who do you want to kick? Is it me? If you kick me, it'll be okay.
We're not storming the Congress to take over. Dude, you just said you want to dissolve. Jack,
hold on, let him get Mike, let him get a word in real quick. We heard what you were saying. We heard a lot of what he wants to dissolve Congress, and it's kind of like a what's it called, oxymoron thingy, where it's like I want like where
hello,
go ahead, Jack, go ahead and explain it to us.
Hello,
it's Mike, if you stop telling yourself it makes no sense, you can easily.
I'm not telling myself. I'm repeating what you said. I'm not telling myself anything.
If you would shut up, you can understand.
I'm not going to shut up, dude, because you don't make any sense.
Just let him say what he has to say, though. I mean, like, even if you don't make sense, just let him finish. His thought. Let him finish his thought, and then react to his thought once it's finished. I know he's taking jabs in his thought or whatever, but try to fight until the end or whatever until he's done talking. All right,
Dave, salute, buddy, salute. Good, sorry.
All right, go ahead, Jack. We'll try to be more simple here, you guys.
Yeah, I got to share with you. I mean, honesty is how I live, and I'm losing enjoyment. If Mike doesn't chill out and you want to continue this, I'm going to see my way out. Okay.
That's fine. You know, whenever either of you guys want to leave, you guys are free.
I know.
Obviously,
I know. And if you don't care, that speaks to you.
I mean, like, I want you guys to both be comfortable equally. I'm trying to care about both of you guys equally, and I can't be picking favorites. I like when I started this, I was talking about some women earlier that are arguing with each other, and I was like, I wish you motherfuckers could just get along. And that like even holds true right now, where it's like, you know, I don't want you and Mike to argue. You and Mike are arguing because that's who you and Mike are.
No,
I don't want to me. Arguing. I don't want you guys to be arguing either. So can you guys stop? You know, that would be fine with me.
Well, Jack,
nobody wants us to be arguing. Can we all stop arguing? I wasn't arguing in the first place. I was just letting you guys go at it. But if it were up to me, I'd gladly have you guys just have a conversation. Obviously, Mike doesn't agree. and you guys get worked up, and then that becomes an issue. I don't know. You guys gotta like the more you guys talk to each other, the more you guys will find some common grounds or things you guys talk about. Shit, you got in common. You know, what do you guys got in common? Mike, do you like love? Do you like love?
I like love. We like sweet hoodies.
See? There you
We
go.
like beers.
Things
like
in common.
Let's
Start there. That's the best way to start. But like, what do we got in common? So we
like
can just break
Jesus.
the ice here. There you go. So you like Jesus, you like hoodies, and you like love.
I
So
like beers.
you guys have things in common. You guys just also are mean to each other. I don't know. I don't know what it is, you know, but you guys have things in common. You guys should try to see each other as humans rather than oppositions or whatever, right? Because I mean,
you know what we all got in common, Banana. You know what we all got in common. We're all a bunch of weirdos up here on YouTube.
Yeah,
weirdos.
That's that was like a Tommy DTV thing, Jack. He would come over here and be like
weirdos.
Here,
I was the first one to say it.
Let me jump in here if I may. I was trying to answer Dave's question. I got interrupted, mocked, and as far as I'm concerned,
can we try that again, please, Jack? Can you try to answer his question, please?
Tell you what, please I'm sorry to be rude, but I've fucking had enough.
You're fine. You're allowed to. You're allowed to be rude here.
Well, I'd rather not. I'd rather that we figure out what is real. Mike's fucking attacking me because he wants to stay confused.
He wants to irritate you. This is exactly what he wants. He wants you to be upset. Why are you letting him do this?
What do you want me to experience?
I want you guys to get along. That's what you're saying.
And help me by stop enabling him saying, "Oh, it's both of you."
I didn't say it was both of you, but you do respond. You do curse at him. You did too. But he started it. I said he started it.
Polite.
Let's go back to you wanted to answer Savage Dave's question. Can you please answer it now? And we'll just start again there. We'll just reset there. And Mike, please don't interrupt him or anything. Just let him answer Savage Dave's question, please. That way we can all relax. We can settle down. We can reset, and we can get back to the conversation. We're gonna keep arguing. That's what I was saying. Don't talk to him, Mike. Just fucking let him. I don't want you to. Don't talk to him. Don't apologize. Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. Just leave him alone. Jack, can you just talk to David? Sheesh. I feel like this is the best course of action here at this point. You want me to help get this back on track? This is the way to do it here. David, what was your stupid question?
It's not stupid.
Shut up. You're supposed to be being quiet. See, that's why people beat you.
I remember the question.
Yes.
Well, it was about the third party countries that don't want help. Because you want world peace. Well, we got to think about the people that don't want help.
Right. You guys clearly don't want help. I'm gonna step out. Hey, tell you what.
Well, I'm sorry. I
Dave,
wasn't involved in that.
Well, Dave, I was actually trying to focus on the future about, really getting before Congress. I know there's a lot of doubts and, what's the point? They just pretend they don't exist. Well, you know what? It's happening. And as long as the citizens of Congress can create space and give attention to that war criminal Netanyahu, there's gotta fucking be a way that someone from America, a disabled vet, can get their fucking attention. Why I receive so much disrespect and opposition from you guys? Yeah, good luck.
I believe you should. You should be able to get. You should be able to get in front of Congress. I just don't know any of them, guy. Like, I mean, I could get you in front of the post office union, but that's about it. I don't know the.
That was a definite rage quit because I had another question.
I know the guy that runs like the business. the business side of the post office union.
Banana, dude, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I just,
Oh, you
that guy,
should be. I don't know why you did that. You're such a
dude,
shit.
he's so full of shit, dude.
Well, why'd you
I
have
mean,
to start treating him like shit? It was a
I
good
was
show.
trying to
And
be
you just
respectful, just
like,
asking
yeah,
him
like I
questions,
mean, everybody would be normally. Fucking Mike
he
just
started
goes
cursing at me.
crazy.
Dude, he started cursing at me out of nowhere because we were arguing and I wasn't being belligerent. I was just, we're having a difference of opinion. He starts cursing at me. And then he called me a bitch.
Oh,
You don't call a man a bitch.
you were acting like a bitch, Mike. I mean, sometimes you call
And
him
I
out
said,
a
what would you
bitch.
do?
You were trolling him, Mike. You were trolling him.
You know he doesn't like you, Mike. You've been kicked off of this panel before. You know that. You know he don't like you.
Listen.
You trigger him easily.
Yeah, he got triggered. You got triggered. He got triggered.
Dude, Banana, I was never triggered. I swear. I was not triggered. I'm trolling. I'm not triggered.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
triggered, dude.
I'm gonna troll and pretend I'm triggered real quick. Makes a lot of sense.
You think I was really upset? I'm not. You think I take that? Do you really think I take him seriously? No, it was a troll.
I don't know, man.
He doesn't. He has thin skin. He can't even battle it out. He can't battle rap. He can't.
I mean, he called you a bitch, and you said you were gonna like K-word him.
No, I said, would you say it to my face? And he said, yeah. I said, well, that you'd be put under the ground. In other words, if he called me to
it's like you'd be murdered and buried somewhere.
We would scrap. Imagine me and him scrapping in a fight. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
look at you.
Yeah, but
He's
then
man.
you're not just saying we're never.
Yeah. But I didn't say the K word. I didn't say that.
I know, but it was implied.
Very careful with what I say to not get anybody in trouble.
Transistor. Yeah. Okay, so Moore's law is the observation that the number of transistors on a computer chip doubles approximately every 2 years. Okay. So that just this trend has led to rapid improvements in computing speed, efficiency, and cost.
There's like tons of fire trucks on my street. Let me check it real quick.
So that means technology is basically doubling every 2 years. I thought it was like it's speeding up, like the communication speed between things. I think 6G is gonna be fucking crazy. And it should really be called like 60G most likely. No, this was fun. Did anything else happen today?
They're all leaving. It's crazy. It's like I had like all these fire trucks up and down, but they're all gone now. So it must be
shit.
False alarm or something like that.
They probably got who they're getting.
No, fire trucks, not police, just fire trucks.
Did your CV go off there, Mike?
No.
I'm just fucking with you.
It did not. It didn't go off. It's not turned on right now.
Right.
No, but I just, when it comes to religion, it's important that people don't false prophet, and I don't like people that will preach that have a really, really bad background or they're just trying to grift. I don't like that. So it's just, I apologize. I do apologize. I wasn't trying to drive the guy off, but even Dave was asking him direct questions. He wouldn't answer. He wouldn't answer Dave's questions. He wouldn't.
Right.
I've
got so many more questions. I mean, he claims to be, devout Christian and all that, but yet he'll sit there and drop F-bombs towards people and what, like really? That's why, no.
Well, what does that have to do with anything, though? Like saying cuss words.
It is weird to hear somebody that's supposed to be a godly person talk that way.
I mean, the people that were the most devout, lashed themselves and killed animals and shit.
Yeah, way back.
Even then, that was when the books were written, that was the way to communicate, I guess, or something. I mean,
But that's
I'm
what-
assuming
telling
that still
somebody-
holds true. We just
telling
don't do it.
somebody "fuck you" was the way it was back in the day. No, it wasn't. They
Yeah.
would beat themselves because they did wrong. That was their punishment
Well, yeah.
for their sin. They
Yeah.
didn't go and just, shoot a person in the face or tell them to go fuck themselves or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's really weird hearing somebody that's supposed to be about devotion and love and trying to change the world to peace telling somebody "fuck you." That's
Well, maybe
weird
they.
in my book. And you know me, I'm not anywhere near that. So if I'm saying it, that sounds weird. Then most people that are going to be in your book there, Jack, is going to look
So
at
what-
you as a fucking lunatic.
So what I do is I press people, troll people, press them to show their true character. And I think Jack showed his true character. He's not godly. He's full of crap. He's not a good person, and he has a really bad past, which we all do. But like he paints himself out to be like the next Messiah, and he's not. And I pressed him.
I don't
pressed
even
him.
know the guy, and I heard he's a rapist.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Well,
But-
the guy's back, so you guys can quit talking mad
yeah,
shit
he
like
is.
he
So,
wasn't.
yeah,
Dude, I'm
hey,
assuming he was
that.
listening to it, Jack. I
Yeah.
was staying quiet and just listening to him
Yeah.
talk mad shit about you. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, everybody has their voice, but I was enjoying in on that shit.
Jack, do you want to apologize for cursing and calling me a B word and stuff?
What would be the value in that?
Just saying I'm sorry, and I'll tell you I'm sorry for saying stuff to you, and just wash it clean like it never happened.
Well, I was being honest. Do you want me
Well, isn't
to
that forgiveness?
apologize for being
If
honest?
you say, well, you cursed at me and I cursed at you, so I'm willing to say I'm sorry to you. If you say it to me, then it's gone.
Ooh, I know what this is, Jack. I know what this is. Okay, I've seen this before. This is what Joey Amico used to do, right? So he would start a fight with you, and then he would try to like start and make it as crazy of a fight as he could right off the bat, right? And then he would just be like, "Can we have peace? Can we have an agreement, right? You don't talk about me, I don't talk about you. We'll never do that again." And now you're like, you never talk about them. And it's because they show that they're crazy and they intimidate you into not talking about them anymore. That's he's pointing to Joey Amico. I seen this. All right, go ahead.
Certainly I could have chose different words to point out your inappropriate behavior. I'm sorry for choosing the words that I chose, Mike, but your behavior is inappropriate.
And so was yours. So it's equal.
You've not apologized or recognized anything about yourself.
I just said earlier, I'm sorry for what I've done for you. Are you sorry for what you said to me? That's what I just said.
Okay. And so can we change? Because it wasn't just what you said, it was the false narratives, the false representation of me that you were so smugly sharing, as though somehow you're an expert on Jack Talcott and you know. And
Right.
Dave, I answered your questions the best that I could. I'm sorry if I'm long-winded or not precise enough. But
wow. Look at the
Mike-
arrogance. Wow.
Well, it
Look at
was
the
because once he
arrogance.
left, you guys started talking shit about him.
Right.
And
You just said,
Mike,
hold
Mike,
on,
he
hold on.
probably expected it from you, but he probably didn't expect it from Dave. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Arrogance of
you.
you, dude. Like you're all about forgiveness and love. I just said I'm sorry for what you said. You said you're sorry for what I said, and then you go right back into a smug attack again.
And the one
Again.
thing, and the
Mike.
one thing that I did and I said is I heard, and you know what I'm talking about. It's alleged.
Yeah, Dave.
It's not saying that you are. It's not saying that I believe
well,
you
Dave,
are. It's just saying that's what I heard.
What will convince you to know that it's untrue? Just because someone says something.
Listen. I don't need any proof.
Well, Dave,
and this is
Dave.
YouTube. I don't believe anything that comes off of YouTube.
Okay, well, Dave, you offered it forth. Mike wanted to offer a lie, a confirmation that it's true. That's the type of man Jack
Dave said
is.
no, Jack. Dave said he heard that, and I said, yeah. because I've heard it too.
We all have heard it. We've all
Yeah.
I
heard
didn't,
it.
I didn't say
And-
you were.
It's an
And what
allegation.
Jack,
was
It's
the
I'm
not.
the wax in
contact?
your ears.
What
Jack,
was the
Dave said he heard it, and I said, yeah, right.
Yeah,
I've
it's
heard
an
it too.
allegation. It's not fact.
That's it. That's it. And you're
So-
getting all bent out of shape. The more angry you get, it leans towards maybe there's validity to it.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. And when I said you were a bitch, you got awful angry. You little bitch.
You call a man a bitch, you get knocked out.
Oh
You
shit!
get knocked out.
That honestly make me angry too, Jack. I've been to prison twice, and I've got a different story about what a bitch is. So if you called me a
Yeah.
bitch, I'd be pissed off.
Jack,
I'm
if you said
not
it to my
calling
face,
you.
Somebody that takes it in the
You're
ass.
not acting like one
That's
yet.
nowhere near what I am.
Yeah,
acting
I
like
mean, he I don't know. He's always, making up reasons why Mike's behavior is okay.
Well,
So
here,
I don't know. He might be.
I am so sorry for interrupting you. Well, it's a bad habit that I've found, and this is not my place. This is Banana's stream. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to
You're
be.
fine. You're fine.
This is what Banana likes. You're good. He loves the drama.
Well, it's not just that; it's that we get to actually talk and resolve things in a weird way.
Yeah,
Like if we're talking to each other, then I mean we can come to common grounds, or we could burn the bridge. But I mean we'll find some resolution with something.
Right.
Well, I actually care about how I treat others. Okay. And so, Dave and Mike, I heard you guys just bastardizing my name and my character. And you know what? I'm sorry I swore in front of you. I'm sorry I dropped down and chose to use some profane words to describe what I saw as very profane and unacceptable behavior from a grown man. So I apologize for not being perfect, but for the love of God, I'm online 7 days a week talking about peace on earth, improving our own lives, self-development, meditation, and creating more life and encouraging each other, creating a better world. Why do I have to answer against all these doubts and disagreements and then be subjected to name calling too? What is up with you
Isn't
guys?
that trials and tribulations of God? Isn't that him testing you in a way that you feel that shouldn't be tested? Don't you understand constructive criticism?
Don't lie to
You can't
yourself.
change the world. You're
don't-
one man. You can't change the world. It takes millions to
Hello,
change the world.
hello, right. That's what I'm saying. When the body of Christ, Christians, unite together with love and faith, we will unite and we'll find a way to end the
But
corruption.
there's not that many true Christians these days.
Are you
proved
willing
that
to join
yourself
me, or
tonight.
you want to tell you what? If you want, you can believe whatever you want, and I don't care. You're right. Right now,
You
there's
proved
not.
that yourself tonight. You are not a true Christian. You cussed everybody out. You got angry. You're supposed to forgive and forget and move on. But you
I'm
got
here.
angry. You cussed everybody out. You rage quit for a few minutes.
And
Then
so
you
now
come
what?
back with an apology that.
But what do you mean
Now
that's
what?
not a true Christian? So like
I'm a
true
man.
so a true Christian isn't human anymore? Like they're
it's not
they're
that.
an actual well, I mean, those are very human things that happen, like
They're more forgiving.
these are all things that everybody on this panel has did. So are
Banana,
we
you
saying
watched it. I stayed quiet. Banana, you watched it.
yeah,
Mike
saying
come up
fuck
here and
is
Jack
saying
went crazy.
I identify as a Christian. I say fuck. I said horrible things to Mike. I said bad things to Jack. I've said horrible things to you, David.
I know.
But I'm a Christian. I mean,
But banana, you're not banana. You're not preaching and trying to change people. That's the difference. Jack.
Well,
puts
that
himself
was
on
the
a-
part
agree
I
with
was
Mike.
worried about in the
I
beginning.
agree with
He
Mike on
puts
that.
himself on a higher platform, like
Well,
he's
even then, but like,
he's
it,
He's playing monkey see,
sure,
monkey
is
do.
well, you guys are saying he's not Christian because he said a bad word, but
I
I
didn't
don't
say
agree
that.
with that.
No,
You
I
Well,
didn't.
David did. David.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
say he's not Christian. I said
You
how can
say
he
he's-
call himself Christian when he does that? But yet, like what Mike
because
said,
he's a
trying to preach the
I
word.
don't want to answer for Jack, but I would just say because he's a
It's,
human and
at this
humans are
point, it's
human.
monkey see, monkey do. You can't tell
Yeah,
somebody that they can't do this and they can't do
Hey,
that.
Dave,
Do the
I
same
get
thing.
that part. I
Dave.
get that part.
Yeah.
Dave, is
I'm
there
listening.
any openness to your mind? Because it seems like your opinion of me has just been, now you're just on board with Mike. I need to be disrespected or something. What the fuck?
No, listen.
Look,
Jack,
more cursing,
it's
more
nothing to
cursing.
do with Mike on this. I've been watching you for the last two to 3
Is
months.
there anything I can help you better understand about me? So
Not
maybe.
really, not because look. Like
Okay,
just
well,
said,
I
I've been
thought
watching
you
2
were
to 3 months
talking
and I
about
see
me. Tell
hypocrisy
you what.
all over.
Hey, tell you what, you guys keep your fucking gossip session. I tried to come back for a
It does.
conversation.
Well, let me say
No
this
one
real
wants
quick.
to hear
It
from
sounds
me.
like David has his mind made up already about you
Yep.
because he
Yep.
doesn't want to hear like what you were trying to like. Hey, do you got
Mm-hmm.
any questions? Do you want? I'm here. Do you want to ask me? And you'd rather apparently David go on what Mike heard about him. You'd rather agree with that than just
I'll
ask the
listen.
man. Well, it's not so much listen, but it'd be like, hey, whatever you were agreeing with Mike about, you could just ask him now that he's here, and maybe he can inform you about the situation and get both sides of the story, which is critical thinking. You get both sides of the story, and somewhere in your mind is the truth that you make up for your own reality.
Well,
I'll tell
remember,
you-
I
I'll
did
tell you
that
what.
earlier.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to say a damn thing. I'm going to mute up. Dave, if you want to talk to Jack, please. I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I think I do understand kind of what's happening. I obviously see what's going on. But
It's a good debate, Banana. It really is. Nobody. I'm not getting out of hand. Nobody's yelling at each other. We're just talking it out. You know.
well, it's not so much the debate, it's like the what's it called, that fucking thing, like in Final Fantasy, what's that thing, like the like not the dynamic but like the fucking what's the thing, it's like 5 people or whatever, a group, I don't know, I think of it later.
Dog file.
I think it starts with a P. I don't know, I'll figure it out later. Somebody, it was in Final Fantasy, you would have to pick them, like the pendulum paradigm, was it the paradigm?
Maybe
Is that
paradigm. Yeah. If
Maybe
you're
the paradigm, like, because it's you and it's Mike versus Jack, and I'm just trying to be here in the middle, but it's like Mike and Jack are battling, but every time something comes up, you make an excuse for Mike and then you shut down Jack. And I think that's why Jack's having issues with the conversation that's happening right now. Plus the stuff where Mike was trolling him earlier, just trying to get him pissed off for the hell of getting him pissed off.
well, there's things that came up that I agreed with Jack on Mike too. So it was kind of, you know, for me again. I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral. I'm not for both either or. It's just I'm putting out there what I've seen out of Mike, which we all know. We've seen it for years. Jack's kind of newish to what I've watched. I've been watching for the last few months because of you guys, you know. Same way with Gen X. I've watched him for the last few months too. There's some things that I would love to question him on.
I would have too, but that guy blocked me right away. That guy was like, no. I'm like, I had so many things to ask him about.
But like, for back to Jack here, for you know, with you wanting the world peace, let's say okay, we'll forget about the third world countries. We'll forget about them not wanting anybody's help. How would America? I remember you saying that earlier. America's got all the resources, stuff like that. Excuse me. To be able to make that step to start helping out everybody else. Well, we still have a big problem right here in our home country. Can we help ourselves before we help everybody else? Is that in part of your plan? Or like, can we get all the people off the streets and then use whatever is left to go help out the other countries and try to change their ways? Because I'd rather help out our own people first.
I don't deny that. I've been saying that for a long time. So what?
Well, I'm asking what
Here,
would be your plan on that? How
well,
do you foresee
number
that working out to help out our
does it,
people first?
okay. Does it? The goal is that secrets are no longer legal. Therefore, the workforce is not oppressed. The citizens are not deceived. The advertising agencies have less influence because we work on sharing knowledge together, working together in communities, not worried so much about the budgets and the regulations as much as bringing reform, support, and actual true education so that people who think it's okay and normal to drink all day because other people do that, right? We
You're
can
talking to
change.
one of them right now. That's why I'm asking these questions. What do you think that? What would you preach to me? Make me change my mind when I'm sitting here very comfortable. I get to drink all day. I get to smoke cigarettes all day. I get weed pretty much every day, all given to me. What would you do to change my mind and make me want to go out there and work for the things that I get for free every day? Because you're going to run into that problem. You're going to have a lot of people, even the homeless people out there, get shit handed to them for free every day. So they're not going to want to go out there and work and do the things that you want them to do. So I'm asking you, how would you change their mind, including myself? Preach to me, change my mind, make me want to go out there and work.
Nope.
You can't. That's
Right.
why you said no. You
Yeah.
can't.
No. Yeah. It's not
And
my
that's the same
problem.
way with war. There's
Hey, Dave.
people out there.
Dave. Do you want to understand or you want to keep your doubts?
No, I'm asking you to enlighten
You're
me.
asking questions that you imagine would be problems. Try to imagine the benefits of a world where the debts have been forgiven.
I'm asking you realistic questions.
I'm answering you realistically. Use your imagination to think about what I'm suggesting, please, so that you can understand. Imagine a world where the word went out in the news. The militaries have been ordered to stand down. There's a commitment and an agreement for reforms. Debts are being renegotiated and forgiven. People can become free of their hourly wage jobs that they're going to just to survive. And so for you as an individual, Dave, I'd encourage you to open your mind and think about the life you're living compared to the life of those worse off than you.
No, I'm thinking about the people that are worse off than me. You know how many people I help usually on a daily basis? I go. I don't record it. I don't want no clout for it. I help people all the time. When it comes to Christmas time, I go down to the local Salvation Army. I donate my time. I volunteer down there. I make sure that everybody that has got it rough has got their Christmas meals. They're all tidied up with winter jackets and shit. I do my thing. That's why I'm asking you, how do you think that we can change these people? Go to Kensington Avenue, just for an example, and try to change them people to make them think they need to go and get a job and stop doing drugs. Right?
No, he doesn't want them to get a job, though. He wants them to quit their jobs.
You're not even trying to understand me, Dave.
No, I really am. It's just
No, you're really not.
You're running
You're
around.
really not. When you keep talking about all the reasons and the people that this won't help, you can't help them and they can't be helped.
Well, your
So,
imagination.
so you don't have an answer, Jack.
Your imagination's not going to help them none. You can
Yeah,
have them
so
all
Jack-
go and
Hey,
imagine.
can I try and answer? I mean, fuck, I don't know what to offer you.
I've been
If
quiet
you're
for a
will-
while.
tell you
Letting
what,
you talk.
if you're willing to understand, you can see it. If you're not willing to understand, you never will. You'll focus on disagreements and doubts. But what I believe is true is biblical, that when the wealthy are led and invited, encouraged, when the wealthy choose to share, the people less fortunate will earn what was not worked for. And we can create a better world when we stop enabling selfish liars. Selfish liars have risen to power in America because a bunch of good men and women are patting each other on the back, telling each other how good they are, while the homelessness continues, while the exploitation continues.
But like, you think these selfish, like greedy people are going to give us their money all of a sudden?
Well, I know for a fact that through the power of the pen, the authority that everyone enables in Washington, D.C., those people, we can use the pageantry to solve the problem. Federal Reserve came into American history by the swipe of a pen and the passing of a vote. So it wasn't overturned in the past, and the past brought us to here, but what started out with the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England is now continuing
You do
funding wars.
You do understand, Jack, that if we dispersed all the money in the world to everybody and made it even, that it would be worthless because
I
everybody
know.
would have the same.
I know.
It would be
I know.
worthless.
I know. And if the
Gotta
debts
have
were
the rich.
paid off,
Gotta have the poor.
if the debts were paid off, there'd be no money for circulation because money is
Exactly.
what
You're right about
debt.
that. Yeah.
We actually don't need money.
No, we never did.
Right.
That's my
And
little
that's
chair
the
making noise.
point. Behind the wars and the slavery has been the inequality of education and the selfishness of money. So we have the opportunity in this lifetime to complain, to blame, or to bring the change. I went along for much of my life believing in the ways of America, only to learn that I was completely deceived. And the way of Jesus is the way we want to be. And I'm sorry I'm imperfect. I'm sorry I can't convince you that God is with us. And maybe God wants us to have peace.
Jack,
I could be wrong.
perfect. Ain't none of us perfect.
Okay.
Let me
Stay
say
that
one
way.
thing. Let me
Bounce
say one
out.
thing. Don't you think so? You have to work for what you have. You have to work for what you have. So people that are rich,
Well,
have
I
worked
guess.
hard. No,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry to like disrupt, but he was saying like, why is everybody always got to say about like the opposite end? Why can't anybody say anything nice about the side he was talking about?
I agreed with him just a second ago.
It's a debate. I was gonna ask him if people are millionaires. Didn't they work harder?
Well, when did this become a debate? I guess it was an argument that turned into a debate.
I wanted to ask him ask him a question because he's saying distribute all the money, and I was going to say if people are millionaires, didn't they work harder to get there? They worked harder to get that wealth. Why would you want to take it away from them? You're taking away their hard work.
I do got to disagree with you on that one, Mike. Not all of them worked hard. Some of them were children that grew up as millionaires, and Daddy gave them a little bit of a boost. You know what I mean?
Yep. Have a good night, Jack.
Yeah.
You know that's true. There's been a lot. Like, look at some of the NASCAR racers, some of the basketball players, football players. They had that little boost.
I gotta be honest with you. I love a good debate. I love talking. We have great conversations, but he's just, if you don't agree with him, he's a smug a-hole. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but he's just a
No,
smug
I
a-hole.
agree.
Yeah.
As much as I
And
hate you, I agree.
that's not a conversation, you know? And yeah, and Dave, you're right. He was like cussing at me like a storm. To call a man the B word, yo, that will get you a beat down. Me and Dave know. That'll get you a beat down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he came out of that with,
call me
I'm
a
like,
bitch in my face, I'm fucking you up.
that's
Sorry,
what I
mean,
that's what I
for
told him.
language,
I mean, like if somebody
Yeah.
says something like randomly, like you're a bitch, I might just laugh a little bit. I mean,
No,
it
honestly.
no,
depends on the way that you say it, though. Like,
yeah. And I use the question, you know, would you say it to my face? I would. What would happen? I don't care. You would care because you'd be 6 feet under. And that's what it was. It was just a reference to you'd get a beat down. That's what that's what I meant, you know.
Well,
But
you
the
made
thing
the
is
wrong reference. 6 feet
no,
under.
that's not anything that's going to go against anything. You can say that.
I know that. I'm just saying if you were trying to get across that you'd give him a beat down, you didn't
Yeah.
send that message.
I got to agree with Banana. He definitely, if he wanted to, he could take that as a threat.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh
He can
yeah,
take it
I
whatever he wants.
totally would take it as a threat, but it don't matter. I'm not
He
worried
can do
about that.
whatever he wants. He's
No,
Father Jack.
he's not gonna do anything, you know. He's gonna do anything about it.
He can bless the chat. But the thing is that he's contradicting. You know, I'm going to Congress, but I want to rip it apart. And then he's saying he's so godly and trying to preach. And if you disagree with him, he yells at you. He raises his voice and curses at you. It's
Well,
like
yeah,
it doesn't.
those are the parts that like I would love to talk to him more about, but you guys
You heard I tried to bring that up, but you and an old boy decided wanted to go at it, and I totally forgot that question and went back to the other question.
Yeah,
I was real curious about what he was wanting to do about the Congress thing. I told him, remember January 6th, that what do you think's going to happen, you know?
Guys, I was quiet. I was quiet for what, 10, 15 minutes. I didn't say a word. And he was even yelling at Dave.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave was he wasn't yelling. He wasn't raising his voice. Dave was just asking him questions. And then he's like, you just don't understand. And Dave's like, what? Like, so he's unhinged, dude. He's an unhinged guy.
Well, the thing is, like, it's not like, so even if he's unhinged, all right, like everybody is a little unhinged or whatever, but there's value in people's words still, some of them at least. So I don't know if you got to cherry pick them or, you know, take them with a grain of salt or whatever, but you know, just writing Jack off as like, oh, we're not, you know, like I'm not going to take anything the guy says seriously or whatever. When he knows things about like the Bible and stuff, the stories and stuff like that, there's value in that. There's value in some of the other stuff, like the conversation stuff. But you know, it's like you guys when and I get it, like when he says something, it'll be like, oh, I'm gonna make a cartoon or do my animations. You guys not particularly, but other people would be like, you're never gonna do that, you suck, you treasure or whatever. And it'd be like, you shouldn't even try. And basically, I guess that's what you guys are doing to him, and it's upsetting.
No. There was Banana. There was times where me or Dave were just like trying to ask him questions and didn't agree with what he was saying, and he flips the fuck out. You're not listening to me. And it's like, whoa, like you know, I can have a difference of opinion, you know. And I'm sorry, but listening to him, dude, he is not a preacher. He's not a pastor. He's not ordained, and you don't curse at people or try to motivate people, call them the B words and stuff. You don't do that, you know. And
that's not the first time I've heard him do it, Mike. I've heard him do it on his own panel before, cursing people like that. Yeah. It's like, why? Why would you do it? Banana's covered it before where he's cursed people. That's how I know who and what Jack is. Because I've watched his channel, I've watched it over here when Banana's doing the coverage on it, and the guy is, I don't know, if that's what Christian is supposed to be, then I guess in my mouth, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if he is actually Christian. Like he is like a believer in a lot of faiths all combined. And you know, in my mind, I think this is all like some kind of computer program simulation or some bullshit. I
I'm
don't
a
know.
believer in none, so I listen to all. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
He's so I light troll him, light troll, and he got so furious. And that's not someone who has their heart with God. I'm just saying, it's not.
No, I
Right.
wouldn't.
He definitely doesn't have peace right now, and that's
Yeah.
something he needs to have is peace, I
My
guess.
my foster parents were Christian, and I was a very, very, very bad child when I was in foster care, and I couldn't even make them say shit with a mouthful. And I'd have
Mhm.
them so pissed off at me. I'd have Mother Teresa slap me if she was alive. Let's just put it that way. For something on YouTube to make somebody that's trying to spread peace and love out through the YouTube streets to cuss a person out, that is not showing any love or peace. That is showing that you've got anger in yourself as well.
Have you ever seen the pictures of like the soldiers that guard the queen with the big tall funny hats, right?
The Swiss Guard.
Yeah, and they'll sit there and they're
Oh
really
no, not the Swiss
professional,
Guard.
right? Where they are, they're like
The
the
Queen of
French.
the Vatican. The Queen of the Vatican.
The fucking
Queen?
the ones with the big hats. Yeah, the queen.
It'd be the king now, but that would be the king's lifeguard. Or
It
would
doesn't
be the
even
queen's
matter.
life-
It doesn't even matter, Mike.
The big furry hat. The big furry hat.
Yes, everybody
Yeah.
knows what they all picture it, right? Anyway,
Mhm.
imagine Mike or Dave just jumping in front of this guy and like dancing around and like and then one day you put your finger in his ear and he just punches you. That's
Well, yeah.
that's Jack there. He's like being all chill and calm. But Mike, you came in and you attacked him, you trolled him, you did whatever you were doing, and like then he triggered you, and then you triggered him, and then he got mad and left. Then he came back, and then you guys argued, and they left again.
No, I've confronted him about a lot of the bullshit he talks. He talks a lot of bullshit, so I confronted him on it. But I wasn't cussing at him. I wasn't. And then when he called me the B word, it was on. It was on and popping. You don't do that. You don't do that to another man. You don't. You catch a beat down, and that's when I got upset. But I didn't lose control, and then I pulled it back. And then,
that's gonna be the title of like Senior Citizens Law's video. You're like Mike Cerrone threatens to kill Father Jack Talcott. It's gonna be like Jack Talcott preaching with like Mike with a sniper sneaking up on him or something.
never threaten to K word somebody. But 1600 basically means getting a beat down. That's what it means.
Yeah.
But I never said K word. I never said that. Never threatened someone's life.
You said you'd kill him under the ground. You were like, I'd kill him under the ground, and then I'd kill you, like Houdini, bitch.
I didn't say that. I never said that.
How did Houdini die?
I witnessed that one. He just said you'd be underground. He didn't say the K word.
Yeah, he said you'd be underground. He's changing it to 6 feet under, which is way worse. I find that funny, honestly.
Didn't I say 600? But I didn't say the K word. And then when I came back, he started cursing and yelling again. So I was like, look, I'll be quiet. I'll be silent. I'll be quiet. You talk to Dave. That's cool. I'm not going to say anything. And he was talking to Dave and being a complete asshole to Dave. Mm-hmm. He was.
That's first. So never.
Well, yeah, like I mean, yeah, and like he's in a different environment where people are gonna be more confrontational, and he's probably gonna start to understand why I'm so abrasive and rude, or just don't care about things, or get distracted easily. Because a lot of it doesn't even matter, like none of it even matters sometimes.
Well, I wasn't even being abrasive. I wasn't yelling at him or anything. I was just asking him simple questions, and he side-skirted all my questions, kind of made up bullshit answers for him. They weren't even considered answers, honestly. I still don't know how he would figure out, helping the people that don't want help. You know what I mean? And he never did answer that.
He goes, Dave,
We're gonna build a 5G tower in their country.
I'm not going to entertain that question. You're not listening. You're not listening. Well,
right.
I'm listening for your answer, dude. And if he doesn't give you the answer, but then he says you're not listening.
Well, I'm sitting there quiet for the whole 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
But I'm not listening.
You're not listening, but you're sitting there like this, but he's like, you're not listening. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the answer. Listen, he's a smug know-it-all. He's a smug know-it-all. If you don't agree with everything he's saying, then he gets pissed off and closes. And then
I've been watching him for like 2.5, 3 months. I've picked up on his shit. Like, you're exactly right on that. If he doesn't agree with what you're saying, then he'll either put you backstage or berate you.
That's it. And tonight he got a taste of his own medicine. Tonight, I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it.
I mean, again, before I wrap up, I just want to say I really wish you guys all would have just fucking got along. Not that it's a big deal. Jack would come back, I hope. Jack, you're welcome to come back to the channel. Obviously, I got no beefs with you right now. It's just a fun name for the stream. Plus, he was mean to Chuck all day yesterday and today.
I wasn't being loud with him. I wasn't berating him.
Not at all.
Questions.
And
no, we had a really good stream, you guys. We did. Yeah, I think we had a good stream, honestly.
I think Jack needs to reevaluate his own beliefs, because you don't call a man a B word and try to preach about peace and love, and you call a man a B word and cussing him out. That's not conducive to what the message.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Then why'd you say you'd K-word him? Like, that goes against the 10 Commandments. So I mean,
it does.
Yeah.
Banana, I'm not preaching to people.
Okay. So what? So you're allowed to be not as. So you're saying he's a better Christian than you then?
If you're preaching to people, if you're actually acting like a preacher, you should be above. Like Dave said, you should be on a different echelon where you're not cursing, you're not disrespecting people.
Damn, you're putting him on a pedestal above you, man.
No, he was supposed to be, and he showed me tonight he's lower than me. He's lower than me. He's actually lower than me.
Man. You know what the funny thing is? When I go places, I always demand I be treated like an equal. Almost always. Except for like when I'm trying to work my way into these cult thingies, which is the first time, because it's a cult. You can't be an equal in the cult. It's a ranking system. That's the best part about it.
When I troll, I try to get a reaction, and I try to make people show themselves. And I think Jack showed himself tonight. I think Dave agrees. I think that Jack maybe means well, but he's very convoluted. I don't know if there's mental illness involved or what's going on with him, but he flies off the handle like out of nowhere. And the only reason I got mad,
he gets frustrated. He gets frustrated. That's why he gets upset, because he gets because people aren't understanding like his point of views, and when they do, they offer criticisms rather than something nice. It's always mean things, I guess, or negative things.
Yep.
When he doesn't get his way, or everybody doesn't agree, he flips out. Dude, on his stream, watch it. Every single.
I asked him earlier. Have you ever heard of constructive criticism? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and that is something I did mention to him earlier about like accountability for like your own actions in the past and worrying about the past. Even part of that came up too. It's like you shouldn't be worrying about the past.
Right.
And we never said he was a rapist. Dave said he heard it, and I said, yeah, I heard, I agree that I heard it. But we never said that was true. And then he comes up flipping out about it, like out of control. We never said that.
Right.
Yeah. And I said, I
never said, hey, dude got the background right. And I ain't say nothing like that. I said, I heard that he was.
I heard.
That's right.
Well, that's the thing too. It'd be like, I heard Mike Cerrone ate Savage Dave's cat. It would be like,
Mm.
what
And
the
it's
fuck, man?
allegedly.
What the fuck? Like, even allegedly, it'd be like, like, I'm pretty sure both of you were like, why the fuck did you just say that about us? Like, like, it would be like, why the fuck would you say that?
I
And
get
I
it.
guess,
That's what people do
that's
on
what
YouTube.
I guess that's what you guys did to him in a way. And
But
I'm
at the
trying
same
to,
time,
empathize with him in the situation because I was being quiet most of the times
Mhm.
while you guys were interacting. I was trying to stay neutral and be quiet. And I was trying to empathize with him, you guys, and try to understand everything. Normal host bullshit.
The only reason I even said it, Banana, is because I heard it from not just one, but several different places.
Yeah, I've said it too. I've heard it from Snafu. I've
Uh-huh.
heard it from Snafu that he allegedly R-worded some lady that but he says it was like more of a drunken escapade where they got drunks and had some sex and maybe he has a baby with her.
Mhm. Yeah,
Maybe
he
not.
flipped.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just think he was. I think he was. I wasn't
Again, though, we
combative.
shouldn't be talking about him because if he's here, we can just ask
Yeah.
him these questions directly and he can answer them for us. But you guys drove him off. Yeah,
We didn't try them
well,
off.
not
We
even
didn't
you.
walk them.
It wasn't even you, Dave. It was fucking Mike. It wasn't even Dave. It was
I
totally.
didn't drive him off. He left after Dave, not me. He left after Dave's questioning, not me.
It doesn't matter. He'll
told
come
you.
back. He'll come back eventually, you guys.
I felt him getting mad, so I stepped down. I was like, I'm just going to stop, and then you talk to Dave, and that's what I did.
Blame
To
it
kind
on
of
me.
preserve. No, I'm saying, but he left. Dave was asking him simple questions, and he's like,
I do
flipping.
think he left way sooner than I would have left. Just because of not like time wise, because I wouldn't have spent probably so much. Well, I don't know. I spent all this much time, but
Yeah,
tolerance wise, putting up with disrespect, bullshit, and berating and all these things. I probably would have stuck around. I would still probably be here. I wouldn't have left because of that reason. But I could get oh, it's getting late anyway. I'm tired and this ain't going great either way. I could see if I was having fun and time was just getting away from me, but that's not the case. I guess, so I don't know.
Yeah, when he was dropping the B bombs and stuff like that and saying MFer, it's like, dude, come on, man. It's like when you don't agree with him or you confront him, he starts cursing at you. It's like, whoa, so it's all right. It is what it is.
Like I said, the night was the very first time that I ever talked to him, and he cussed me out.
Well, I mean, you guys weren't doing anything
I was just asking him questions.
I feel like all of it was constructive criticism, but I think the thing is he was either looking for praise,
he might have
kudos, or some kind of improvements upon his work or something like that. But what he got was that's not gonna work. And what about this, and this, and this? And I mean, that is reality, though. That's life. You gotta worry about all these things because they all go into the thing you're trying to do. You'll be like, oh, I want to do animations. I can't just go learn, one thing. I gotta learn a shit ton of things. Writing scripts. I gotta learn how the little mouths move, how the eyes move, how the fucking arms move, fucking everything about it. I gotta learn how to make it happen. And then editing, all that shit. You gotta learn a lot of different things for your cause. And he just wants to learn one thing, and that's
why I called him a noob. He's a fucking noob. He just started within the past year, and he's talking to people that have been around for 4+ years. All three of us, even Mike, even though he ain't got a channel, he's been around many years. He knows how this shit runs. We're all trying to tell him, hey, look, what you're doing's not working. Right? He's not listening.
Fucking M4 gaming, horrible.
Dave, look at that comment.
Talcott takes what he wants, baby. You guys are horrible. All right, well, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. So this was a good stream.
All right, Banana. Have
Yeah,
a
I'm
good
sorry
night.
we're in Johnson. I'm sorry.
All
Hey,
right.
hey,
Hey guys.
hey, jack me off.
No. Hey yo, welcome back to the show.
Bro, Robin like crazy. Is that
Know it, Grumpy.
right?
What the fuck? Did I just be like
And he was telling me, to give him sexual favors and stuff like that. And taking ibuprofen, he was doing that. He was drinking tomato beer. And then he was talking about the whole thing about having relations with my dead relatives.